And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, Jasmine Crockett versus Byron Donalds. That seems to be a really big topic of discussion. Really big one. I don't know why she decided to go and try to attack him for being married to a white woman. At least he's married with a whole family, which is the American dream. Meanwhile, she's 44 years old with nothing. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Elon Musk over in Wisconsin trying to impact the Supreme Court race. Ultimately, it didn't really work too well. It's weird because the left say that he was trying to buy the race, although Elon and those linked to him raised $21 million out of the $100 million that was spent on the race. So $21 million, who raised the other 79? We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, the Maryland father who was quote unquote accidentally or quote unquote mistakenly deported back to El Salvador was an alleged MS-13 gang member with a criminal background who was here illegally for years and years and years. I don't know why that's some kind of sympathetic figure, but we'll talk about him a little bit more a little bit later. Also, we have socialist speeding tickets. If you're a rich guy, pay the max. You smoke crack for a living, 80% off. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for joining me. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Man, we got a whole lot going on. There's a lot of videos I've not talked about yet. A lot of really interesting topics. There's a lot happening. I like the direction of the country. I like what we got going on in the administration. And I like how people in the government are being held accountable. There's so much waste, fraud, abuse, so much ridiculous nonsense going on, and it's been going on for a long time. The permanent government, the deep state, they're being exposed and they don't like it. It's like if you have some kind of wild animal in a little corner and he's been in that corner in your house for a long time, and then you discover the wild animal, you discover the corner, and you hit him with the flashlight, he's going to freak out because it's like, yo, this is my little corner of the house. I know I shouldn't be here. I know I'm doing the wrong thing, but why are you trying to discover it? Leave me be. That's what these deep state individuals are. The permanent government individuals are. A lot of the Doge, waste, fraud, and abuse that they've been finding is to fund them and their lifestyles so they can live high on the hog. Why must we spend $10 million, $100 quadrillion to do the most ridiculous of things? Okay, you're counting how many barnacles are on a random whale in the Indian Ocean. Okay, great. But why does that cost $3.5 million every 6 months? I don't understand. Stupid stuff like that, people try and justify it, but they don't really do a good job of justifying it. Tell me why that research is critical. Tell me why that research requires that much money, taxpayer money on top of that. It's not just them spending their own money. It's not just a company spending their money that they make from whatever they sell. It's from us, the taxpayer. We pay all that money. Listen, taxes, I know a lot of y'all, you pay regular taxes from your job. That's bad enough. It's like, man, can I get some of that back? You see your check and you see how much money comes out. It's like, yo, can I get some of that back? I could use some of this money to pay some bills around here. And rather than you being able to keep that money for yourself, it goes to this sweatpants wearing dude from Ukraine, completely disrespectful to the office, showing up, no suit, some sweatpants, a size 2 in kids boots. I need some monies. We don't like that. We don't like it. So when we see an Elon Musk or anybody, it doesn't matter who it is, when we see someone addressing that and trying to make a change, we appreciate it because it's our money. Now, those at the top, the political elites, they feel like they are entitled to our money, and we don't like that. And when we say to them, hey, you can't just take that from us, then they act like we're in the wrong. Like there's some kind of feudalist system going on. You got the leaders, the elites, the kings, or whoever, and then just regular everyday people. But I thought in this country we had freedom. I thought slavery was over with. Feudalism was over with. I thought all that was done. I thought we were able just to go out here, get money on our own, and become whatever you want to be in this country. I thought that's what it is. But when you have the oppressive governments, taxes, regulations, rules, restrictions, and then you want to bring in the illegal aliens and you want to pay them to be here, listen, not only did they leave the gates wide open for illegal aliens, the gates were completely open for illegal aliens. At least 20 million of them came into the country in 4 years. They did that and they gave them money. They subsidized them. Then they say, oh, you Americans don't want to work. Well, hey, how many people could you get to work in the chicken plant if you gave them financial incentive to do so? You're giving the illegal aliens citizenship or something kind of close to it, although they're not technically citizens. You're not trying to deport them. So they're basically citizens. You're giving them status in the country, although not legal citizenship. You're giving them employment and you're giving them extra monies from the federales. Those magic cards never go away. A lot of them commit fraud with social security numbers and it goes unpunished. They do whatever they want to do. And American people don't like it. We don't like being told that we're lazy, while at the same time you give illegal aliens money on top of what they make, on top of their wage to work. It's really crazy. But yeah, shout out to everybody who understands that, and to those who don't get it, those who are still kind of like, what's going on? You'll see soon enough. These elections are going to go consistently in a different direction, and so you tighten it up. And until you address the needs of the people, you'll have elections that keep going a particular way. Okay, that's just what it is. Michael L says, "Who is FICA? Why you got a hand in my pocket?" Exactly. Oh yeah, Coaster says, and they subsidize home loans for the illegal aliens. They did all of that. They subsidize home loans, their living expenses, food, and they're giving them driver's licenses, although they can't drive. They do whatever they want. It's like they are given the status above us. And you want to put Americans, those who were born here, who families have been born here for generations, you putting us at the bottom of the totem pole, or that's the attempt, at least. I'm not going to let it happen, but that's what they're trying to do. We don't like it. We're going to revolt against it. That's just the reality of the situation. All right. Yeah, they gave them everything, Coaster, everything, 100%. So yeah, now how are the eggs? I'm not an egg guy. I'm not really a kind of guy that would eat eggs. Some of y'all eat eggs sunny side up. I don't see how you do it. I might eat eggs if it's like scrambled maybe, but really I'm not really an egg guy. I'm more fish and chicken, but just eggs, personally, is not my thing. But how about y'all? Y'all into eggs? Have the egg prices stabilized? Y'all let me know. And speaking about eggs, the media kept talking about egg prices. Like, hey, did he fix egg prices yet? It's like the man just got in there yesterday. You want to give it a little bit of time? Give it a little bit of time. I remember Barack Obama's presidency. They were still blaming things on W in 2013. It's like he's been gone for years. This is your second term, Mr. Obama. It's almost at the end. Why are you still blaming W? But when Trump comes in there, things that have been going on throughout the entire Biden administration, they say he needs to fix on day one. It's like, well, some things might take a little bit longer than one day. I'll tell you what didn't take too long is the southern border. Hold on. I think I have some numbers, or the most recent numbers of the border crossings. Oh yeah, look at this here. From March 2024 to March 2025, let's look at how far the numbers have gone down. Okay, so this is illegal border crossings at the southwest border. March 2024, 137,000 in March. So that's 1 month. March 25, 7,000. Again, illegal border crossings in 1 month. The month of March 2024, 137,000 crossings. March 2025, 7,000. That's a 94% decrease. Now that's pretty quick. Okay, that is pretty quick. I know egg prices, this price, that price, all this, that, and the third, that's a different story. But you're talking about border security, keeping the crossings down to a minimum. You can see what it is right there, a 94% decrease, big decrease. And then, people are asking me, well, how will this affect my life, ABL? How is it going to impact me? Well, these illegal aliens are bringing a little bit of everything. You're going to have some that want to work. And let's be clear. I know some illegal aliens are here straight up working, or migrants who are here under a legal status. Maybe they're on the H-1B. Maybe they got a green card, whatever it is. And I be seeing them like the Guatemalans, Mexicans, the real Guatemalans, the real Mexicans that come over here and work. You see them in Harbor Freight getting tools. You see them drinking their beer, working on the house, blasting their music, getting it done. Those are the real Mexicans, the Central Americans, okay, the Venezuelans, the real people. However, you got a bunch of criminals coming across the border as well. Just because they come from a certain country does not mean they're going to be workers, nor will they all be criminals. You're going to get a mixed bag. You're going to get workers, criminals. You're going to get people that have drugs, guns, you name it, terrorists. You're going to have crazy people that got mental problems. You're going to get all of that if the border is wide open. But you do have some that actually work. And I think the majority of us just don't want the people that cause problems here. And we want to be able to work as Americans without having to compete with illegal alien labor. Contrary to popular belief, a lot of Americans do want to work. Some don't want to work, but let's talk about that. If Americans don't want to work, then the question is why? Or if some don't want to work, the question is why? Some of that is on them. Some of that is because, what they say, good times create weak men. You know the saying. Some of that is that, but then also look at COVID-19. How was that handled? Okay, don't go to work, stay home, and we're going to pay you more than what your job can pay you to stay home. So now you've incentivized Americans to become addicted to the government. That's what you did. Then when you reopen things, when you shouldn't have closed it, you say, okay, go back to work. But you incentivized them to stay at home. You told them to stay at home. You made them stay at home. You made them stay at home and take government money. You did that to them. Now you want to say, y'all don't want to work. Well, which one is it? First, I want to work and you tell me I can't. I got to stay home because of this, because of the flu. Okay, because a flu came around and some really big backs then got deleted and people that's 1,000 years old passed away because you can't live to be that long. I mean, you can't live to be that old. You can't live that long. You're 125 years old and you die. Okay, well, hey, at a certain point that was going to happen. RIP, but I mean, we going to blame COVID or we going to blame the fact that you're 1,000 years old? Everybody can't live forever. I've never met an immortal person before. I never met Thanos in real life. I didn't think that was a real thing. I thought that was a comic book in the movie. If you weigh 1,000,000 pounds, well, you on borrowed time anyway. If you're so fat that when you die, they got to start tearing down walls. They got to get a cherry picker. They got to get a forklift. They got to get a flatbed to get you up out of there. They got to get the firefighters to come. They got to get a blade, like a circular saw, to cut open the roof and get you up out of there. Then maybe if you get some type of sickness, whether it be a flu, COVID, whatever, the sniffles, you might die as a result. Just maybe. They shut the whole country down for that, then said, you can't go to work. I forbid you to go to work. Take this money. They become hooked on it. Then they say, okay, go back to work. Oh, you don't want to work now. You're lazy. Same thing with Big Pharma. Big Pharma was allowed to dump opioids on Appalachia. Then they say, oh, you crack smoking, opioid addicted hillbillies. It's like, wait a minute. Y'all put it right there. Y'all intentionally dumped it right there. You lost lawsuits that said you did that on purpose. It was a testing ground. We were guinea pigs. Then you want to say, oh, you guys are hooked on drugs. This is why I say that the government should get out of the way. Smaller government. If the government was not as powerful, if they were a teensy bit smaller, then maybe they would not have negatively impacted Americans in the way that they did. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy on the internet talking. If you like what you're hearing so far, I see crane lift. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. like the video, share the video, do all the good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Coaster says, my mom is a nurse and had to clean a person mega fat like that. Oh, yeah. Shout out to the RNs. Well, not even the RNs, the CNAs, because y'all be the ones, like, they put y'all right in the mix. Shout out to the CNAs. I know how y'all, I've heard some stories from some of y'all. It's crazy. Yeah, I've heard some wild stories. Imagine some of these CNAs, right? Most nurses are going to be young ladies. Like 90% are going to be women. And they're not big and strong. You don't really have bull daggers as nurses all the time, okay? So you're not having no heavyweight power lifters in there with your loved one. Your loved one's in a nursing home. He weighs 475 pounds, okay? And he got a diaper on. How is that going to work? Okay, this girl, 95 pounds soaking wet, and she got to deal with this. You got to get a whole team in there. You got to get some furniture movers in there to get that big blubber rolled around to get that thing up off him. It's crazy. So the moral of that story is, please eat right. Take care of yourself. Do not rely upon the government. Do not rely upon their drugs. There's always a new drug. Drug for this, drug for that. Okay, you're 1,000 pounds and can't lose weight. Rather than just stop eating big server trays full of food every 2 hours, rather than doing that, here, take this drug. And then when you become hooked on it, now I got a customer. Now you're going to be a dope fiend. And then when you don't want to do anything but get high on drugs, I'm going to blame you for it. All right. So, yeah, don't rely on the government. Don't rely on drugs. Do things on your own, please. I beg you. All right. But we got a whole lot going on. Shout out to you guys again for being here. Shout out to the sponsors. Y'all know how I do. Shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these internets. Their link will always be in the box, or just go to patriotpost.us in your browser. Tell them that ABL sent you. Go to the merch website, ablmerch.com. We got the hats, the t-shirts, the stickers, the hoodies, mugs, and more. And we got some new stuff. It's already designed. It looks great. We're coming out with that ASAP. And I'll show you guys that stuff probably on the next stream. But ablmerch.com, go to it right now. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Also, go to anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY. The letter B, LOGAN.com. Again, ANTHONY. The letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. I have articles for each video that I produce. And in each article, I have sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the politically agnostic, from Democratic, Republican, local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it right on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. Go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact us. There be able to find my email address, my snail address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, and the Facebook is jumping. Hey, Facebook, I don't know what's going on with Facebook, but I've been posting those shorts, and I'm looking at my analytics, and I think I said before, my top audience is like 45. My top audience is 55 to 65. So shout out to them. They probably think I'm older than what I am. Hey, it's all good. It's fine. I like it. So shout out to Facebook. It's jumping over there. But Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok, all those links are right there. Now, I don't know how I'm going to translate the 55 and up audience to TikTok where people are like 5 years old. I don't know. I'm trying to do the short videos because I know attention spans is like paper thin. Okay, I say 5 words, and if I don't hook you immediately, then I lose you. But I've done that before. Back when I was doing club flyers, I knew how it was. Back in the day, you would do a flyer, you put it on a desk space of a shoe store or a clothing store. It takes somebody just a couple seconds to glance at it and want to pick it up. So I know about that immediate, I need it right now type of energy. So we'll see how that goes on TikTok, but I am over there. And speaking about TikTok, they are talking about selling that. Well, they've been talking about it, but I think what happened when Trump came in office, it was an extension. It wasn't just a final decision. So they think they're still trying to sell it. And I believe Amazon is trying to buy it. What do y'all think about that? Do you think Amazon should buy TikTok? Should TikTok remain part of, ByteDance or Tencent or whoever owns it? Should it remain in the hands of the Chinese, or should we take it? What do y'all think? I think that if they let an American company take it, it won't be the same. I don't know if that'll be a good thing or if that'll be a bad thing. It could be a good thing because part of what may be changed is some of the damaging things in the algorithm, but I'm not quite sure what they would really target. If they're starting to engage in censorship and trying to craft the content, it might not work out for the success of the platform in the long term. There could also be some sabotage in there because TikTok really is what a lot of social media platforms are trying to be like. Everybody's doing the short form stuff. Facebook is really heavily leaning into that. They're giving you bonuses for doing that. Instagram has been like that, obviously, for a long time. Instagram is like TikTok's older hood rat cousin, in my humble opinion. And then, of course, YouTube wants to do the shorts as well because everybody's trying to compete with TikTok. What they could do is make that less desirable and force people that no longer want to use TikTok onto the other platforms. That could be what's going on. I don't know. We're going to see. We shall see. All right. Oh, Shell says, I think USA needs to distance themselves from China as much as possible. Yeah. One thing about TikTok, one thing about it, it's loved by a lot of Americans and others around the world. The problem is that this is a Chinese thing. So if ever there was a war, God forbid, between us and China, which is kind of already going on a little bit, trade war, stuff like that. But there was a war, they could just weaponize TikTok against us. When TikTok was going to be banned, back when Trump was getting elected, they put a big notice right there on the front screen when she went to it, talking about some political action. Hey, we're going to go away, call your this, that, and the third. They could use that same ability to give you damaging propaganda. Now, that's not much different than what the mainstream media does, but at least the mainstream media is American, and the government at a certain point can intervene, but you can't really intervene on TikTok if you are the United States government, aside from trying to buy it, have it be owned by an American company and regulate it that way. So we'll see. We shall see. Now, yeah, hold on. Garfowski says X is the best platform. I love X. X is great. I use X every day. To me, X is a big newspaper. I read newspapers, New York Post, New York Times, LA Times sometimes, Washington Post, and other papers, local news for different stories. I read a lot of papers every day. Like a lot of my day, I get up in the morning, I straight read newspapers to see what's going on. And I read the story to get the full context rather than watching short clips in which context can be removed. But I also get on X because that's also a newspaper, but you have stories and you have video. It's perfect. I love it. It is run the best way. And I like how Elon was able to cut 90% of the staff and make it better. Not only do you have the Twitter functionality still there, you also have Grok. Grok is an AI. It's a great AI. I use that sometimes for my thumbnails. Grok and Venice AI. That's one of my sponsors, Venice AI. They're really good with the thumbnails, but you can also ask it certain questions. And I don't ask AI questions without doing the research on my own. If I was to ask an AI a question, I would take that information and then go research it and find the sources to see if it makes sense, to kind of point me in the right direction to where to research. But I wouldn't just take what the AI says for gospel, because sometimes it's wrong. I don't trust nobody, AI, human beings, nobody. I'm going to always do my own independent research. All right. I know I did call it X, didn't I? I say I'm never going to call it X, but hey, it is what it is. At a certain point, it's kind of easier to call it X. So I'll probably end up start calling it X at a certain point. But yeah, we got a whole lot going on. Shout out to you guys again for being here. We got a lot of protests. These people are protesting relentlessly. And then here's my question about the protests. To all those who are protesting, what is your end goal? What is your purpose behind the protest? What do you want to accomplish? If you want to tear up a Tesla, if you want to tear up your degree from Columbia University, if you want to tear up anything, you want to firebomb somebody, what are you trying to accomplish? And I hope that Pam Bondi give y'all the ultimate. I hope Pam Bondi throw you up under the penitentiary, make you make big rocks little. I hope Pam Bondi throws y'all in a Supermax underground to be gone for a while. if you are firebombing Teslas, because what's happening is it's become a copycat situation. YouTube does not want me to post a lot of those videos because they know that the more attention they get, the more they're going to do it. But at the end of the day, if you're going to do something like that, you need to get the ultimate. I think having less coverage would probably reduce the incidences of it happening, but also you got to put them in the penitentiary. You got to give them penalties for their crimes. So I hope Pam Bondi gives y'all the ultimate, because if you get 15 years in the penitentiary, that might be excessive, maybe. But if you did get 15 years in the penitentiary and that was publicized, that would prevent others from doing it. Because sometimes they're doing things like this thinking that it won't be a penalty, they won't get in no trouble. They're testing their boundaries. Okay, well, check it out. Here is one of your comrades, one of your blue-haired comrades that firebombed the Tesla dealership, and he did got 10 years in the penitentiary, hard labor. Okay, I send them to them little camps they got out in Phoenix, where you out in the sunshine with no shelter. I send you out there for 10 years. See how you like that. And then when others see it, they're like, you know what? I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to be trying to do that because I don't want to go to Phoenix and be out there in the hot sun. Now check it out. We have Columbia grads. Okay, they are protesting Trump. I think Columbia got some money disinvested. Hold on. What was it, like 500 million or something crazy like this because of the anti-Semitism? Okay, yeah. Let me see. President Donald Trump publicly criticized university after it refused to buy his Midtown property for 400 million. Okay, so they're trying to say that it's like a gotcha. Well, because you didn't want to buy this back then, now I'm going to take this money from you. All right, hold on. Let me just show you what's going on rather than these mainstream media hit pieces. So look, this is New York Times. Columbia agrees to Trump's demands after federal funds are stripped. The administration has moved to cut $400 million in federal funding to the university without changes to its policies and rules. Now, shout out to the administration for doing this. And I think the reason why this happened is because of the anti-Semitism happening on campus. Now, you can have your freedom of speech, but when you're assaulting people because they're Jewish, at a certain point, it's like, what is that? What is that? You can't do that. If they are black, white, Puerto Rican, candy stripe, you shouldn't be assaulting people based upon their skin color, ethnicity, whatever it is. And if that kind of behavior is allowed to persist, then what's going on? Now, people don't really like that happened, and they are protesting by tearing their degrees up. All right, let's watch this. Hold on, let's get some sound right quick. Let's get some sound because I know they're not too happy. Let's watch.
Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free Mahmoud Khalil! Free Mahmoud Khalil! Free, free, free Mahmoud Khalil! Free, free Palestine!
Okie dokie, there we go. So, do you guys feel moved at this demonstration? Are you guys really going to join their side after this? Tearing their degrees up. You know what? Here's my question. How were you using those degrees? How are you using them? What kind of job do you have? Did you have one of those jobs that got cut by Doge? Were you counting the amount of, were you counting pennies in the jar for $250,000 a year for the past 20 years? What were you doing with your degree? That's what I want to know. What was your job? Because I see some of y'all. I see you on HGTV. Yes, we're going to New York and we're going to spend $2.5 million. I am a professional grass blade counter in people's yards, small yards, not big yards or medium-sized yards, small yards in New York City. I count blades of grass, and I collect sea turtles and I put them in races in little ponds in the river. Total budget $2.5 million. Because those jobs are gone, now you want to protest. Oh, well, it is what it is. So what? Who cares? Who cares? Not me. But yeah, shout out to them. Now, we got more. Okay. Okay, now these people, these are the trillionaires for Trump. Okay, now these are some funny people. Look at these signs. Okay, you got this sign says your Head Start program will fund my Protect Philippe, the watch. And you got other signs that say trillionaires for Trump. I see a Cybertruck because they hate Elon. Oh yeah, Elon is as bad as Trump. They put Trump and Elon on the same page with each other because the media has done that and convinced him to think that way. But let's watch them, shall we?
Okay.
I need one in pink. I only have silver and blue and green.
We need to show our support. Yes. I mean, even if it falls apart.
Honest to God. It's the patriotic thing to do.
We want to see the this is riffraff. I don't know.
No. Just one little test drive can't hurt. Just one little test drive.
Okay, so you see him in the Tesla. Now, look, they're going inside a Tesla dealership to protest, and you see the shattered glass. So there's already been a bunch of demonstrations right here. So these are just the next people going in there, doing a demonstration. And look, my man right here, is that a top hat? Where'd you get the top hat from, sir? Now, here's my question to this guy with the top hat. Did you buy that from another so-called oligarch in Jeff Bezos? How about what's that? The Waltons, Walmart. How about them? Where'd you get that top hat? Or was it already in your closet? Do you own a top hat unironically? You just have it just to wear as fashion? I don't know. But yeah, these people are getting on my nerves. And you know what? I'm glad that I don't live in a liberal area because we don't have those people here. Y'all might have them in your neck of the woods, and I hope you don't. But they're not around here. I see Cybertrucks and Model X, Y, Z, this, that, and the third all over the place, and everybody's cool. Nobody's going to break down into tears over a Cybertruck out these neck of the woods. All right, how about y'all? Oh, yeah, they're always very small groups. And somebody was asking me the question, are they being paid? I think there is some money involved in this, of course. But I think some of them have been so brainwashed, they've been so convinced that Elon is a bad guy, they'll go out there and do that on their own dime for free. They might even pay to get costumes, top hats, monocles, bow ties, all that good stuff. They might even pay for their outfits. They might even pay to go out there and so-called protest. And a lot of them travel too. You'll see them go from state to state. That's something else. I think the ones that go state to state are the ones that are being paid for sure. They're part of organizations. Okay. Now, I don't know who this woman is, but her name is Gay Valamont. I'm just reading what it says right here. There's a page that says Gay for Congress. Okay. Democratic candidate, of course, from Florida, 1st District. Are any of you guys in her district, Florida 1st? Are you going to vote for her? Now, I never in all my days thought I would hear this song and this situation, but here we are. Let's watch. Okay, so there we go. We got a little dance routine to crisscross jump. Yes. Now, I remember when that came out, 1991. I'm like 6, 7 years old when that came out. I remember that. I remember playing it on a boombox, on a cassette tape, and never did I think that I would see this video right here to that same song. Never did it cross my 6-year-old mind that this lady would be dancing to that song however many years later. But hey, here we are, 34 years later. Here we are 34 years later. It's funny how life is. So yeah, shout out to her. Vote for her. Hey, if you're out there in Florida, she says vote for her. Are you going to do it? Now, if it's me, I think I might need a little bit more than that. Can't just dance a jig to an old school hip hop song and say, that's enough. What's your policy? What are you planning on doing? And you know what? Don't even worry about it. Based on that right there, I think I know all I need to know. Don't even worry about it. It's fine. So yeah, shout out to Gay for Congress out there in the Florida 1st District. And shout out to Chris Cross, RIP to one of the guys that died. I forget which one it was, please pardon me, but RIP to him. He died a few years back.
No.
Now, this video right here has got to be the funniest one I've seen in my entire life. This is the funniest video I've seen in my whole life. Now, this woman is obviously protesting. You see Tesla signs, you see a Ukraine flag, all kind of stuff. Now, the interviewer is going to ask her a series of questions, and you're going to see just how ridiculous her answers are. Check it out.
No, he needs to get out of our government. We didn't elect him. He needs to go. And
What do you think of Dr. Fauci?
I love Dr. Fauci.
Do you think we elected him?
He was appointed by our president. So no.
Okay, so look, so y'all understand. She's out here protesting Elon Musk. She doesn't like Elon Musk. Why don't you like him? Oh, he wasn't elected. He wasn't chosen by the people. Well, how about Dr. Fauci? I love him. Was he elected? Nah, he was appointed. How is that different than Elon Musk? He was appointed to the position of Doge. Okay, it's the exact same thing. But listen, when you're watching so much MS-13 DNC, they will tell you anything. Things that don't match up, things that don't align, things that are contradictory, but it's okay. You're going to say it anyway. I don't like Elon because he was not elected. I like Fauci because he was not elected and he was elected. Make it make sense. So yeah, shout out to her. Shout out to her. Hey, that lady right there is probably a lot of your friend, your aunt, your mama. That's just know that you're not going crazy, that you see the hypocrisy. It's them. They're the problem. It's not you. All right. So yeah. Yeah, the talking heads, exactly, Lemur. The talking heads told her so. All right, and we have more. Here we have a die-in. Some pretty vulgar things being said. I cannot repeat those because we got little kids watching. This is a family show, but y'all see what it says right there. This is a so-called die-in. Another one of these protests.
A moment of silence. A moment of silence.
Moment of silence.
A moment of silence. All right, we're going to have a moment of silence. A moment of silence. Thank you. A moment of silence.
Okay, so there's so many signs. I'm not going to read that one right there. I'm not going to read that. It says, cause of death, billionaire tax cuts killed my coverage 2025. Another one says, Elon took my Medicare and I died. I think you're still alive there. I know it's a die-in. I get the concept of the protest. I get it. It's very artistic. I get it. But I think you're still living and you ain't missed no meals, big man, with the red. I'm seeing a nice, fat, happy soul on the ground right now. You looking like a dog. It just got fed. Your belly rubs and everything. Death by Doge bite is another one. Doge ended my cancer treatment. Yeah, it's quite a few signs here. Healthcare for all. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Couldn't eat crypto. Plane crash. 2025. No FAA. See, they believe in whatever they see on television. They believe in whatever they see on television. It's just not true. They think that Elon Musk cut FAA that were responsible for air traffic control. It's just not the case. It's not the case. But this goes back to what the media does. The media will tell you things in a way that's factually true as far as the words they say, but the way they say it, it's intentionally misleading and manipulative. So it makes these people, these normies, these soft brains, these smooth brains, it makes them believe anything. NPCs all day long. That's right, in the streets. NPCs all day long. That's what they are. And we got to deal with that kind of situation out here. Now, hold on. I said the other video was the funniest one, where she was like, I don't like Elon because he was not elected, but I like Fauci, although he was not elected. This one has got to be the craziest. So another protest outside of a Tesla with the same crowd. The same exact, it's like the people, you could pretty much just copy and paste them in different parts of the country. Seattle, New York, LA, anywhere in between, they all look the exact same. This has got to be the funniest. Please watch. The electric slide while protesting Tesla and holding a sign with a swastika on it. I never thought I would see a swastika while the electric slide is playing and the person with the swastika is dancing with it. It's like, what in the world? Look, when I grew up, the electric slide was a happy thing. We're going to cookouts, barbecues, you're going in the park with your cousins, playing football, basketball. Electric slide at a Tesla protest. I mean, oh my gosh. Like, hey, these are some of your friends, though. These are your coworkers and your colleagues. Some of your cousins might be out there acting the fool. That one cousin that don't nobody, it's like, all right, man, I don't know what he got going on, but I'm going to just stay over here. Electric slide with a swastika, dancing with it. Hey, and you know what? If they were to break them dance moves out at a family reunion, my cousins and all, they'd be like, no, we gotta actually kind of get these dance moves together. Okay, you off a little bit, the rhythm ain't rhythming, you gotta get it together, please. Yeah. Yo, they got choreo. They got choreo. I'm sure there's some money involved here somewhere. There's a little bit of money involved here somewhere for sure. But you could tell some of these protests are just self-funded because their signs look raggedy. You know, the signs ain't really all the way signing. I know how much signage costs. I used to make signage for a living. I know how much it costs. When I'm seeing some of these high gloss, mass produced, nice, I know how much that kind of stuff costs. So yeah, that might be more of a self-funded situation. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now look, here's what's happening to people that just own Teslas. This is a liberal lady, a random person, or if she's not liberal, I can't tell. But yet she is still being assaulted or intimidated or threatened by people because of her Tesla she's driving. Now, this caption says, I share your disdain for Elon. Trust me, I am not Elon. And then it goes on to say, getting flipped off and screamed at and harassed constantly with children in my car for driving a Tesla is beyond infuriating. People claiming to stand for love, which I agree with your discuss with Elon, while harassing and screaming and cussing at someone with children present is disturbing. Please do better. But no. Look, this environment of negativity, of hatred, of vitriol, that's the environment that y'all created on the left. So you made your bed. You got to lie in it. You made your bed. Now, please take a nap, lie down, get comfy. Let's watch, please.
2 kids in my car. We just drove from brunch to the Verizon store. How many times have we been flipped off? Twice, and screamed at because I'm driving in a Tesla. And it's a rainbow Tesla with a freaking bumper sticker that says I bought this before I knew Elon was crazy.
Mom,
I have
Mom,
children in the car.
let me
I
show you
understand. Hold on. I understand.
How much times it flicked us off of our fingers.
You can't really do it. Don't you do it. This is getting crazy, y'all. I've got kids in my car. I understand where people are, but I am not Elon Musk. I'm actually on the same side. It's freaking rainbow car. Can everybody show some more love? Like, this is ridiculous. I have children in my car. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. 2 kids in my car.
So yeah, shout out to her. I mean, listen, this is what the left has created. They've created these people from those that have been out there campaigning, acting the fool, your news media, your politicians. They've created this environment. Your Maxine Waters, surround them, all this and that. They've done that. They've said that. When Trump got shot, a lot of y'all celebrated. So now that hatred that you put out there is coming back on you by your own people. It is what it is. If you don't want to be affiliated with hatred, then it's time to do something else. All that rainbow stuff, they don't care about that. It reminds me of Black Lives Matter when people will put I'm black or black owned or some kind of black thing to ward off the hooligans that they riled up themselves. It is what it is. So yeah, shout out to her. I don't believe in harassing people, especially when they got kids. Listen, we can have a disagreement, but I don't gotta do all that extra stuff. Now, okay, this is the kind of guy who would say something to you. This is the kind of guy who would try to key your Tesla up, flip you off, or whatever. They're always so big and bold when you're not right in front of their face. But when you're in their face, they become very soft, very weak, very docile. It reminds me of online trolls. When they could just say stuff to you behind anonymity and they don't get any kind of pushback, they're big and bold and brave. The moment somebody kind of presses them a little bit, they fold like a sheet of paper. They fold like a sheet of paper. They start crying and everything else. I hate guys like that. I hate guys that will provoke you and then you do something to them and they want to call the police. It's like, look, don't call the police. Do not call the police. Don't try to start crying. Nah, you want this, so come get it. So look, here's a guy being confronted after keying someone's Tesla and being caught on camera. Check it out.
Free service.
Free service. How about you pay for the repairs? Write a check. You just bought a Tesla.
I can wipe it off with a towel.
No,
it's not.
It is a hate crime, sir. It is a hate crime. Did you write a swastika on there?
I'm sorry you're upset.
Did you write a swastika?
It didn't even work.
Okay, now we got evidence. This is him right here drawing the swastika on a Tesla. They always get caught in 4K and then be like,
oh, did you write a swastika on the? It's a key, sir. We see it on the video.
It's not a key.
Is it a swastika? I was
probably putting my keys in my pocket.
Is it a swastika?
Have you looked at your car? Is there a key mark?
Yes. Is it a swastika?
That's impossible.
It's at the police right now. It's being fingerprinted.
What do you mean it's being fingerprinted?
Because they're trying to track you down. Thankfully, Facebook tracked you down. So your business, your freaking livelihood, everything now. Listen, because you chose to write so to tell Facebook that you're sorry for writing a swastika on a Tesla.
Listen, I said I'm sorry.
For what?
And I apologize.
For what?
I have nothing against your car, and I have nothing against you.
So why would you write a swastika on a Tesla?
Obviously, I have something against Elon Musk, but that's not the way
to show Elon Musk owns that car? Because it was bought and paid for. It was bought and paid for a long time ago.
That's why it's misguided, and obviously, I did not intend to do this.
All right, we're going to wait for the...
Okay, so there you go. That's it. That's the kind of guy right there who's going to key your Tesla up. Now, all this, I'm sorry, not trying to admit what he did, though. He's not trying to say, I put swastika on your car. They always do that. They put swastikas, they put hate symbols on your vehicle, destroy your property, do all that. You confront them. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I didn't do anything. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry you feel that way. See, guys like this will get beat up and then call the police. But they're the ones who started the situation. You want to go destroy someone's property, gaslight them, do all this stuff. Okay, now here's some hands and feet. Then they want to say, oh, you're overreacting. I'm going to call the police and press charges. The moral of that story is leave people and their property alone. You don't like Elon Musk. You don't like Tesla. That's your problem. Handle that on your own. Talk to your therapist. Talk to your bottle of pills you got in your medicine cabinet. Don't try to approach me and my property. Leave me out of it. I don't got nothing to do with it. That's between you and your own mind. So yeah, shout out to him. But that will be the guy. That's a prototype of a kind of guy that'll do something like that to you. All right, we got a whole lot going on here, so shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, some people are a little bit more, I guess, scary looking, but still, this is like someone who's not right in front of your face. All right, you can already see what's going on. This is a woman, by the way. You can already see what's about to happen here. This is like a hag, okay? And the hag is like, hey, I might be a little bit dangerous. You ready? Let's watch.
I would advise to stop poking the bear. Do you understand? Stop poking the bear. I would advise to stop.
Okie dokie. So, I'm sorry for the freeze frame, but truthfully, will there be a better freeze frame than this? No, not really. But that kind of person might be a tad bit unhinged. When they're right in front of your face, what are they going to do? I don't know. I'm not trying to find out, but there's some mental issues going on. She's a wee bit touched. Get your mental health together. Get that together, okay? And poking the bear, look, I think your bear has already been poked many moons ago. Your bear has been poked many moons ago. It is what it is. So yeah, shout out to the hag for giving you a warning. Hey, don't poke the bear. Is she all over X? Is she one of them like, oh, okay. All right, so shout out to her. Now, this guy's saying, hey, you know what? I'm staying home because you Trumpers, I don't want nothing to do with you. I don't want to deal with you because I'm afraid I might do something to you. All right.
And if you guys are wondering about, like, I am, and somebody making comments about that I'm in my house. Yeah, I lost my job because of the election. I had to basically quarantine myself because I'm not safe. It's not safe for me to be around you guys. It's not safe for you. None of you. If you see my face and know me, I had to quit my job because I was going to come after you. I could not trust myself not to hurt you. And if you guys are wondering about...
Okay, so he's like, look, I had to quit my job. You didn't lose your job. You left your job because of the election. And you're like, not wanting to hurt Trump supporters. What do you guys think? Think he might try to go do something? I don't know, man. I'm kind of getting shootery vibes. Hey, FBI, DOJ, Pam Bondi. Yeah, I got somebody for you right here. He has on a black hat with some kind of cartoons on it and a tie-dye hoodie and a funny beard with, unkempt hair. Please go get him. Keep an eye on him because he might go off the deep end. That's what I would do right there. Give me a hotline number, 1-800-REPORT a nut job. Keep this country safe. Okay, we got more. Oh, this is funny. Hold on. I keep telling y'all about being the big back. We got to stop being big backs 2025 because it's real out here. I want y'all to be healthy. I don't want you to rely upon the government, big pharma. All they're going to do is get you high on drugs, make you be a dope fiend. I don't want you to rely on big pharma because all they're going to do is get you high on drugs and make you a dope fiend. I want you guys to take care of yourself. Now, somebody is offended because the weight limit per rider of this ride is 300 pounds. That should be fair. I think beyond 300 pounds, we're getting into a weird space, okay? Shout out to Dank DeMoss, talking about something. Yeah, I weigh 500 pounds, and I'm going to get in this dude's broke down, beat up car, timing belt, raggling, all this and that. Maybe you shouldn't, okay? Let's see what this person says about the 300-pound weight limit.
This is what we're doing now? This is what we're doing now. I am in shock. And this is not American. This is not American. This is not right.
I've seen her before. I don't know what she is. Is she a fatfluencer? I don't know what's going on, but I have seen her before. And she is kind of a hefty young lady. But look, if you want to get on that ride, you need to go ahead and just get down to a certain size. And if you don't want to be that size, you fat and happy, that's fine. Okay. Maybe you can get into an inner tube or an Olympic pool, or you could just get on the floor and roll around and have a good time that way. I'm saying, but sometimes some of these rides, that's not it. That's not what you should be doing. Just like back in the day, you got to be this tall to get on the ride at King's Dominion, Busch Gardens. That's just what it is. And if you're not that height, then grow or do something else. All right, now, this ACLU lawyer, this guy is a woman. Okay, let me be clear. This person right here, Chase Strangio, I believe her name is. This is a woman pretending to be a man. Now, upon first examination, upon first glance, is she doing a good job? Is she doing a good job as a man? Y'all let me know. Now, this person says that there's no trans women trying to compete against hold on. Matter of fact, what does the person say? Oh, this person says there's no men in women's sports.
The policies that are claiming that transgender women in sports are men are wrong. The president is lying when he says that there are men impersonating women and participating in women's sports. There are no examples of men impersonating women that I am aware of. And it is incorrect to refer to transgender women and girls as men and boys. And what these executive orders do, what these laws do, is open the door to sex-based police. The policies.
Okay, now look, bro, sis, bris, whatever. We are done with that. We're past all of this. This, what you're saying right now, maybe at one point in our society, some people believe this, but nobody believes this. Nobody thinks that a transgender woman is really a woman. It is a man. I don't care what kind of hormones they put in their hind parts. If they're getting plastic surgery, taking tugen berries out the system, whatever they do to themselves, that's totally fine. They can do that, but it doesn't change anything. Either you are XX or XY. And if you're not, then I don't know what's going on. But you, Sam, Briss, sir, ma'am, brother, sister, you clearly have XX chromosomes. Clearly. I told y'all before, I've seen some of these people in real life, the transgender men who are really women, and they look like women when you see them in real life. Okay? They look just like women. They're fun size, 5'3", 100 pounds. Okay. You look like a man that I've seen before. They look like women, and it's totally fine because they are women. They should look like women because they are women. Now, this person right here, this is Cynthia Erivo. Do you guys like her? I'm not really into Hollywood stuff. I don't really watch a lot of movies, or I don't watch any TV. I've not watched TV. Like, I've not sat down and just watched TV in probably 20 years. So I saw her one time before, and that was in the Idris Elba Netflix movie, Luther. I saw her in that, and I guess she did good in that one, but I've not seen Snow White. I've not seen her anything else. Here she is talking about how devastating it is to not be called by her preferred pronouns. Okay.
It isn't easy.
Let me get that fixed. Give me a second. Start messing up now. I don't got time for that. I don't have time for that. Let's start from the top.
It isn't easy. None of it is. Waking up and choosing to be yourself, proclaiming a space belongs to you when you don't feel welcomed, teaching people on a daily basis how to address you, and dealing with the frustration of reteaching people a word that has been in the human vocabulary since the dawn of time. They, them.
Hold on. Okay, Cynthia. Now, yes, that word has been around for a very long time. Yes, we all grew up learning that word. But when I was a child, and I'm sure you guys taught the same thing, they, them refers to multiple people. If I'm looking at you, I see one woman. They, them is not appropriate to describe one person. It's used to describe more than one person. They are going to the store, meaning that group of more than one person, they're going to the store. She is going to the store. That means that one woman is going to the store. This is basic English. I know she's from UK. I don't care nothing about that. Who cares? We speak English too.
Words used to describe pedantically two or more people, poetically, a person who is simply more. It isn't
more what? More of a moron, more of a mouth breather? Okay, hold on. Let me let her finish.
Easy. It isn't easy to ask people to treat you with dignity, since you should just have it because it's a given. It isn't easy to learn to grow who you are if the world around you is knocking at your door, telling you to stay inside.
All right, so there we go. Yeah, I want her to just leave us alone. Go over there. Go do something else. I don't want to. I'm good. Miss Arrivo, respect. When I was a kid, when I grew up, my entire life, I was always told to respect people by saying, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Miss X, Y, and Z, Mrs. X, Y, and Z, call you by your name, look you in the eye, shake your hand. That's respect. Doing whatever you want me to do just for you, that's not what that is. That's just you being weird. That's just you not following the norms of society, trying to make your own norms of society. When in Rome, do as the Romans, we refer to one person with singular terms, not with plural terms. When in Rome, do as the Romans. We can't just say, acquiesce to me. Who are you to do that, to say that, to request that? So yeah, shout out to her. I'm not really a big fan. All right, now, hold on. We got Tampon Tim. Tampon Tim. I don't know why they try to put this guy out there like he's going to be somebody that we want to actually vote for or see. Like, who was behind that decision to have him be Kamala's VP? I just don't really understand. They thought, okay, football coach, this is how out of touch they are. They thought Americans, since we love football so much, if they were to get a football coach, then that'd just make sense. But it's like, this guy, I don't see as a football coach. I see him as a dancing queen. I see him as a Vegas, like when Tampon Tim was growing up, he dreamed of being a Las Vegas showgirl. Rah, rah, sis, boom, bah, kicking the legs up and everything else. He wanted to be a Las Vegas showgirl. When I see him, I see that. I don't see football coach. But if the left were more in touch with regular human beings, then they would have saw the same thing that we saw. But here he is talking about a trans day of visibility. Check him out.
They can send out any damn executive order they want from Washington, D.C., because in the state of Minnesota, it's my privilege to make sure that I therefore declare Monday, March 31st, 2025, as Transgender Day of Visibility across the state of Minnesota. They can send out any...
So that guy could have been the VP. That guy could have been a heartbeat away from the presidency. I think not. I think not. No way, Jose. No way. I mean, I'd rather vote for Howard Stern than Tampon Tim Waltz. And Howard Stern is a nut. So yeah, that's how bad he is. Now, this right here is the kind of individual that Tampon Tim supports. And stuff like this is why a lot of us say, you know what, we're going to go another direction. We're not going to deal with what they're talking about, okay? You can already see what's going on here. My man got the old school box hairstyle with a bunch of curls in it. It's pink. Man, look, I know his uncles and dad are so proud. I know his uncles and dad back in India or whatever, they're so proud of what their boys become. Let's watch.
The reason people defend the gender binary so ferociously, attempt to ban books about gender literacy, disappear gender nonconforming people from public life is because they don't want to confront their lovelessness. That awareness that they've never been allowed to be free. It's easier to romanticize the unfreedom, decorate and accessorize it, mistake dissociation as an identity and a virtue, wear it like a badge or a family heirloom. So many would rather die than give it up. And all this pain, it shows up as resentment and retribution against gender nonconforming people. How dare you make freedom real? How dare you make heaven on earth? I thought we had to wait for joy.
What are you talking about? What are you saying? This is Kamala word salad. And bro, you have a face full of makeup on. You look ridiculous. You got earrings. You got all kind of stuff. You're looking like you might have been a pro wrestler back in the 1970s or something like this. I don't know what's going on. And it's not making sense. It's word salad. It's mumbo jumbo. At the end of the day, bro, if you want to dress like this, then go ahead. Chest hairs out, pink hair, lipstick. That's your business. But I don't think we should have books like pornographic books in schools where children at, because that was the whole point of your little talk right here. That was the whole point. Talking about, oh, you guys don't want books in schools. We don't want those kind of books in schools. We don't want pornographic material shown to children. But see, you know what? A guy who's dressed like this, a guy who is dressed like this, of course, would want pornographic books to be shown to children. Of course, he'd want that. Check his laptop. It might be a little strange. I'm just saying. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. Those kind of individuals we don't like. If you're a regular normie gay person, that ain't for you, because I don't think you're going to be that kind of guy. But some of them, I'm cool on. I'm good. Now, look, I want to show you guys this. I want to ask what you think. I want to ask your opinion. Now, did you guys see Morgan Wallen? Is that how you say his name? Morgan Wallen, the country star? I don't listen to his music. I don't know much about him, but I have seen him before a couple of times. So he did SNL. And after the show wrapped, what they do is they tell everybody goodbye. They're on stage, hobnobbing, talking to people, shaking hands, taking pictures, all that kind of stuff. But Morgan decided to go ahead and just leave after the show cut. All right, you ready? Let's watch.
Thank you so much to Morgan Wallen. I had a wonderful time. Thank you all.
So he's out of there. He's gone. He's like, all right, I'm going to just roll out right now. Now, what you're supposed to do is stay on the stage as the credits roll, and you can see them kind of in the back hop. Now, I'll turn it on with the sound off. You're supposed to stay there as they're just on stage talking, hobnobbing, or whatever. He's like, you know what? I'm out of here. I got to go. Now, do y'all think that was just a mistake? Do you think that he did that on purpose? Like, I don't want to talk to these New York City liberal weirdos. I'm out of here. After he left, he posted a message that said, I'm flying back to God's country. And people were trying to like decode that and figure out what it meant. All this, that, and the third. What I think it could mean is, I don't want to be with these people. I want to go back. I'm getting on the plane and I'm up out of here. Maybe you had a plane to catch. I don't know what it is. But if it's me and I was in the shoes, I might want to roll out too. Yeah, I might want to go ahead and just get back to Tennessee. All right. Yeah, exactly, Audrey. I have better things to do. Let me get up out of here. So, yeah, and that right there might have been the best moment from SNL, because SNL sucks. It's really bad. That was probably the highlight of the entire show. All right. Now, speaking about shows that are very bad and individuals who are very bad, this dude, Elie Mystal, I don't know why they keep showing him. I don't like fat pundits. It's like, bro, why would I listen to you when you can't keep weight under control? You weighing like 300 pounds on my TV screen. If I'm to believe what you're saying, how about lose a little bit of weight? A tinch of weight. Now let's watch and see what he got to say.
My premises for the
and RIP to that phone use. Let me start from the top. All right.
My premises for the book is that every law passed before the 1965 Voting Rights Act should be presumptively unconstitutional, right? But because before the 1965 Voting Rights Act, we were functionally an apartheid country. Yeah. Not everybody who lived here could vote here. Yeah. So why should I give about some law that some old white man passed in the 1920s, like the Immigration and Nationality Act, when they passed our fundamental my premises.
Okay, so these people, man, they have their arguments are full of holes. Now, if the whole thing is about these laws written by quote unquote old white men, well, then the entire Constitution would be the same thing, because who wrote the Constitution? Who wrote that? It wasn't old white men, but it was white men who wrote it. So are you going to say that that's wrong? If that's wrong, then how are you going to judge those laws based on that? People are so weird. But guys like that, I don't like seeing. Whenever I see a real big back on TV talking, I'm like, man, talk to your gym, talk to a nutritionist. How about that? Do that. Now here he is again. Oh, and I showed that to show this. So we got to talk about the guy that was deported, the father that was accidentally deported. We got to show that. We got to show that. But this is what he said about the dad who was deported. The gang member, the MS-13 gang member. Let's watch.
About their status. And just to slightly push back on Mark, even if you tell me that, and you prove that they're gang members, I'm not so sure that I'm okay with them being sent off to be tortured in a foreign country, but I'll leave that aside. Fundamental about.
Okay, now, bro, you're looking like the clumps, Nutty Professor. First of all. Second of all, I don't really care where you go. You're here illegally. Get up out of here. Get up out of here. He had been here illegally for years. MS-13 gang member, criminal background. What are we talking about? There was a do not deport tag placed on him by a judge, and the judge was like, well, if you deport him, he'll become victim to the gangs. I mean, what's that got to do with it? People in this country fall victim to gangs in their own neighborhoods. So why should that illegal alien be any different? I don't really understand. I don't get it. I have zero sympathy for that particular individual. Now, let me get to that particular situation. The so-called the father. Here's Stephen Miller talking about the father, the guy that was deported, who was from El Salvador but was living in Maryland.
Scott.
All right, let's get it on the screen right quick and start from the top.
This guy raked leaves. He licked his ice cream cone on vacation with the family down at the beach. Like, how nice of a guy can they make this guy out to be when he's been designated a gang member and a trafficker?
Jesse, you and I have never received in our lives as much positive press
I know.
as this MS-13 gang member has received. We couldn't get headlines like that if our lives depended on it.
Yeah.
So let's just go over the facts here. He is an illegal alien. Fact one, what do you do with illegal aliens? You deport them. Fact two, he's an MS-13. What do you do with illegal aliens who are also in a transnational terrorist organization? You deport them more quickly. Oh, and on top of that, he's implicated in human trafficking. Deport, deport, deport. This is who they're going to bat for. What are we supposed to do? Buy the guy a house, get him some free health care?
Yeah.
Maybe let him run for Congress?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, you're supposed to do all of those things.
I mean, this is the Democrat Party. This is who they stand for. This is who Cory Booker stands for in 2025. They stand for illegal alien predators that are in transnational cartels. That's the Democrat Party of today. We will win this fight all day, every day.
There you go. So again, shout out Stephen Miller for dropping the science right there, dropping the straight up knowledge. It's weird who the left are going to be defending. Listen, people talking about, oh, you got to go to court. Man, listen, people get deleted in this country by police for not much. And I'm like, okay, boy, you had it coming. You want to run from police, do all this kind of stuff, and you die. Oh, well. The rapper Young Scooter, he didn't get shot by police, but he died. So Young Scooter, if you guys don't know, he's a rapper, popular because of his connection to Future. Very, very popular rapper. Anyway, woman calls the police on him falsely. She got arrested too. False call on the police. The police get there. He runs away from the house. As he's running, he jumps 2 fences. He cuts his leg and he dies. Shouldn't have been running. So if I could say that about him, then why would I cry tears for that illegal alien alleged gang member getting deported back to his home country? Why should I be so heartbroken over that? Now, speaking about Cory Booker, did you guys see him in this filibuster? Well, not really a filibuster, because what was he doing? To those who may have seen the Cory Booker situation, what was the purpose of his 25-hour speech? And bro, how are you going to speak for that long? At a certain point, you're a human being. You got to go number 2, number 1, number 3, number 8, all of that. I don't understand how you're up there for 25 hours talking continuously. And what did you accomplish with that? Anyway, let's watch. This is going to be Scott Jennings on CNN talking about it.
It is a feat of longevity. I'm not sure what the point of it is. You know, he didn't stop any legislation. He didn't hold up any nominations. He said it was a moral moment. So I guess, you know, as a Republican, I infer that he thinks half the country is immoral. And that kind of messaging to me is exactly what's been plaguing the Democrats for the last, certainly in the last election, in the last several months, is this idea that this hatefulness towards your fellow American just because they chose a different party or voted a different way. I mean, our own Harry Enton reported this morning that congressional Democrats have a 21% approval rating. So in some respects, there's nowhere to go but up. And Cory Booker, I think, is trying to fill a vacuum. There's no real leadership nationally of the Democratic Party. Obviously, they don't have any confidence in Schumer. They've had a lot of radical voices out there who are trying to take control of the party. So maybe this was an attempt by him to try to, wrest control of at least the spiritual leadership of the national party. I don't know if it'll work.
Let's rebuke.
Yeah, I don't know what the point of that was. Like, do y'all know what was the whole purpose? Yeah, it wasn't any filibuster. It was just him talking. There was no filibuster. There was nothing that he did. There was nothing accomplished here. There was zero accomplished. All right. So now this is a piece of it.
Grateful.
This is a piece of it, just only about a minute. Okay, so you can hear what he was saying. Now, look at this guy's face. This guy was trying to become president in 2020. You're looking entirely way too goofy. They don't have anybody on that side that's a true leader. You can have those who become governors, senators, congressmen, whatever, on the left, like a tampon Tim. But when it comes to national leadership, being in the eye for real, being on TV all the time, Gavin Newsom is their best bet. And I mean, if I was a Democrat, that'd be a guy that I would not want to vote for. But this dude, look at this dude. Look at his face. Goofy.
Grateful, Mr. President. I'm grateful you're in the chair, and I'm grateful to be able to rock all geographies year after year after year for no fault of their own. Wait, Senator Murphy, I prepared for so drug smuggling, human trafficking, illegal arms exports. I am not one of those people that are going to be mad at you. Document is being undermined and attacked by this bill to create a food system that the farmers want. Regulations on polluters that make our air quality worse, which hurts people. But I would be really happy if you...
That's enough. That is enough. That was only like 30 seconds. Oh my gosh. Imagine 25 hours of that. Man, and at the end of it, they were applauding. Yay. What are you applauding? Maybe applauding that he's finally done it. You could get on with your life, but again, 25-hour speech, the longest ever, but with zero accomplishments attached to it. It wasn't even the filibuster. He was just talking, just to talk. Just to talk. Oh, it was a moral moment. You're trying to get some attention. You're trying to go viral. Well, congratulations. Now, speaking about going viral, Jasmine Crockett, I hate that I have to cover her, but y'all want me to do it. Y'all want me to do it. And she is getting quite a bit of attention. She's going and talking on podcasts, things of this nature. She's a hot button. She's a hot ticket. Now, she criticized our good brother Byron Donalds for being married to a white woman. Personally, I don't care what color your spouse is. That don't matter to me. You love them. They love you. Y'all together. Y'all consent. So what? That's your business. You could be a man. Matter of fact, listen, you could be a man married to a man. I don't care. That's your business. That's not my lifestyle, but that's your lifestyle. Go ahead. I'm not going to be in the business of criticizing the color of somebody that you married to. That's just ridiculous. And also, it opens her up to criticism for who she's married to or not married to. You're 44 years old, never been married, no kids. Why? And it's much easier for women to achieve that than it is for men. So how are you going to criticize Byron Donalds for being married to a white woman? He has a wife and children. He has a family, which is the American dream. If you don't have that, how are you going to criticize him for having it because of the color of his wife? I don't like that, but let's watch.
And if we continue to put people into office, and that even means some of our skinfolk who definitely are not our kinfolk, such as Byron Donalds, who are going to continue to say that, the fact that you sitting around talking about life was better under Jim Crow, is this because you don't understand history? Or literally it's because you married a white woman and so you think that whitewashed you? I'm not really sure, what it is.
Well,
but
you
I
even be married to a white woman under Jim
Crow. Correct. And it took Joy to call him out. So I'm like, bro, like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you saying? Like, he just out here, you know, I feel like they give him his talking points and he's like, yes, massa, I got it.
Okay, so the funny part about that is this whole yes, massa, I got it. That just points to her mentality. She's still enslaved. She's still thinking like a slave. The slave mind is thinking, I got to get with the best white man to achieve in my life. So I'm going to go over here and do with him, or I'm going to do with him. That's the mentality. And if your master is better than the next guy's master, you want to squabble over that. Meanwhile, black folks like myself and all of y'all who are watching are free black people. We don't think like we're still on the slave plantation. She does. She does. Now, I'm sure if she was able to get a white man that are treated her beautifully, she'd be right there with him. The pro-blacks, listen, hear me very well. And before I get to the pictures of Democrats married to white people, which, again, I have no problem with, but before I get to that, you can set your clock. It'll be atomically set to the millisecond if you bet on a pro-black person being married to or fornicating with a white person. That's their absolute favorite. That's their favorite. Martin Luther King Jr., MLK. What did he love the most? More than the mission, more than his wife, more than his children, more than the ministry, white women. Oh boy. MLK loved him a white woman. That was his best pastime. White women all on the road. Okay, let freedom ring. Meanwhile, I'm going to go right to the room with Sally, Jennifer, Julie, and all of them. Right after the speech, I'm going right to the room with Jessica, Becky, Susan, the whole squad. The most racist black people in this country love white people. I swear it's to the point now where when I see a pro-black talking and they got an actual black person they with, I'll be like, wow, really? Wow, you are so special. Listen, okay, we got pictures. Hold on. Now, this is just a handful. It's just a handful right here, okay? I ain't even going to show people like, what's her name? The Maya Angelou, another one. Hold on, matter of fact, if y'all didn't know that, before I get to that, hold on. Okay, Maya Angelou, white man with an H. Okay. And she got married to this guy 3 times. Okay, Miss Pro Blackity Black, all that, but Mr. White folks right here, Mr. White folks right there. That's who they. Every time. And again, I don't care who you get married to. Knock yourself out. You keep getting married to a green space alien for all I care. What I don't like is the hypocrisy. Blackity black, but I'm married to a white man. Okay. Now here we go. We got Kamala, who is not black, but they say she's black. She got not only a white man, but a Jew on top of that. Mr. Doug Emhoff. AOC, the Latina, with her white Instagram boyfriend. Now we got LGBT in the mix. Now we got Lori Lightfoot and her white wife. Ketanji Brown Jackson, the brand new Supreme Court Justice, and her white husband. Don Lemon and his white husband. Ilhan Omar and her white husband. The campaign finance guy, the consultant. I could do this for years. If you're going to criticize someone for being married to a white person, if you're going to criticize white people, then you pop out with a white person on your arm, you're just a liar. You're just saying things you think that will help you in your election. You're saying things that you think that people want to hear, but it's not the truth. You can't sit there and tell me that the white man is the most dangerous in America, Don Lemon, while you go home to a white man every night. You cannot say the white man is the most dangerous in this world, the most dangerous in this country, and then go home to a white man every night. It just don't make no sense. It makes no sense to me at all. But again, Whenever you see a pro-black, expect them to have a white wife at home. Her name will be Susan. Susan's going to be at home with the biracial kids and everything else, and the grandkids, chilling. But he's going to be the most racist person you ever met in your life. Always. Now, speaking about racism and Jasmine Crockett, she kind of admitted to being a DEI hire. She kind of admitted to that a little bit. Now, I'm going to play this video with full context because I saw the clip online that was a tad bit shorter that did not have context. And I was like, you know what? Let's get the context to the clip. And when I play this, y'all let me know if you think that she said that she was a DEI hire or not. Check it out.
The final thing that I'll say, because you've been gracious, is this. When I first became a public defender, I had no criminal defense experience. And I walked in and I told my boss, Charlie, I said, listen, you should hire me. He said, why? I said, because I'm black. Charlie looked at me like I was crazy. And I said, let me tell you something. When I walk in, I'm going to walk in with a level of rapport and understanding that maybe some of my other colleagues will not. Charlie offered me my job, and I worked my butt off, and I worked really, really hard for all of my clients, not just those that look like me. And that is what it looks like to serve.
All right, so what do y'all think? Was she hired by Mr. Charlie? You can't make it up. Did Mr. Charlie hire her because she's black? He asked her, hey, why should I hire you? Because I'm black. And I'll be able to understand people a little bit differently. And then she got a job based on that. What do y'all think? Is that DEI? Is it just strategic for Mr. Charlie to do that? What do y'all think? Okay. Was it a lie? You don't think it happened? Hey, y'all let me know. But she said it. I'm asking y'all what y'all think. 100% DEI hire, delusional DEI hire. Charlie created a monster. Yeah, Mr. Charlie. Hey, Mr. Charlie, you messing up, man. You didn't unleash upon us the Kraken. Okay. All right. So, yeah, everybody pretty much agreeing. So, yeah, shout out to Mr. Charlie and shout out to DEI hiring a public defender. I wonder who represented by her. Who was in the courtroom with Jasmine Crockett as she came in? Who was able to be successfully represented by her? Y'all let me know. Okay. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. So we got Scott Walker on CNN with Abby Phillip talking about Elon and whatnot. Now, hold on. Let me show you guys Elon in Wisconsin. So Elon Musk was heavily involved in the Wisconsin Supreme Court race. And the candidate that he wanted, I forget the guy's name. Y'all please forgive me. But the candidate he wanted did not succeed. The candidate he wanted lost. Now, the media are trying to say, oh, Elon's buying the election. Well, obviously it didn't work because the person he wanted to win lost by quite a big margin. It wasn't even really that close. So it didn't work. And they said that Elon Musk and those linked to Musk raised like $21 million, $21 million. But there was $100 million spent in the actual race. So if he was trying to buy the election with $21 million, then how about the rest of that money, $79 million, who raised that money? And what were they trying to do? I'm going to tell you like this. You see right here, Elon's giving the check to people. He handed out, I think, 2 or 3 checks of $1 million each to regular citizens for signing the petition. And people are saying that that's not right. He shouldn't have done all this, that, and the third. I think people may see Elon as like a George Soros, and they don't like him. Although George Soros has been doing what he's been doing for years and years and years, and he's impacted all types of races. And George Soros was involved in this race as well. So you have billionaire A, billionaire B. Billionaire A is not really a bad guy, and George Soros because he helps them on the left. So they don't criticize George Soros, but when Elon Musk comes in the picture and he's vocal and he's wearing cheese heads and whatnot, then they say, oh, okay, well, he's a billionaire that we shouldn't really trust and he shouldn't be involved in our elections. Now, if Elon is to not be involved in elections, then what about George Soros? Are we going to tell him to stay away as well? What I would say to Elon is keep doing what you're doing as far as Doge, Tesla, X, everything, but don't be so much out in the front. Don't be so much like Sam Rothstein trying to get attention. You can still do your work on the low, because even some Republicans are going to say you're doing a little bit too much. Although on the left, they have their own version of you who is 1,000 times worse than George Soros. But that's how it works. A lot of double standards and hypocrisy going on in these political streets. Okay, now let's get to Scott Walker, the former governor of Wisconsin, talking to Abby Phillip. And I just want to say, I like Abby Phillip. I think she is professional. I think she is fair. She's a leftist, of course, but she's not one of these screaming hooligans, acting the fool. Her appearance is put together. She is fair, and she allows conservatives to have a voice on her show. Okay? Not too much to the point where it's like we dominate, but she's fair. You go to other networks, other shows, they don't do that. Either they don't have us on or they try to talk over. I appreciate her for not being like The View. The View, it ain't nothing but Trump hate 24/7. It's never having the other side getting the fair shot to be able to express themselves. So let's watch.
Back to Elon Musk for
and RIP to the headphone users. Start from the top.
I'm going to go back to Elon Musk for a second, because I mean, it is true that he spent $20 million on affiliated groups that were involved in this race. Is it a risk for Republicans to put all their eggs in that basket? Not only did he spend the money, he came to the state. Right. He came to the state. He talked about cutting Medicaid, Social Security through Doge, bringing those issues up.
Actually, he never talked. He explicitly said in Green Bay that he would not cut Social Security.
Well,
that's exactly what he said.
Talked at his rallies.
No, other people said about that, but I was there. I watched him. Okay. He did not say he was going to cut Medicaid.
Other people at his rallies who work for Doge, who work for Elon Musk's organization, talked about those issues.
No, I was at the rally. Not a one of them said that. That's what protesters said, but nobody there actually said that.
Do you think that there are risks here?
There are. People believe the lies that people are saying about that. But that's not at all what they said. If people believe that Medicaid and Medicare is going to be touched, that's just a flat, outright lie. What he talked about are people who are over 120 years old, who clearly are not alive.
Well, the reason I brought it up is
Social Security or Medicaid.
Okay, well,
that's totally wrong. I think
just to sort this out, the reason I brought this up is because the claim here is that there's massive, widespread fraud, and that's all they're addressing. That's obviously a disputed claim, because it's not true that 120-year-old people are getting Social Security checks.
Now, here's why I say I like Abby Phillip, because she's a leftist. And she'll repeat leftist talking points, but she will allow Scott Walker, in this case, to debunk what she just said. That right there about, it's nobody that's that old getting checks. We know that there's nobody that's 100 million years old getting these checks, but somebody's getting these checks, and or the number is being used in the way in which it shouldn't be used. So that points to the waste, fraud, and abuse. And we know these illegal aliens using Social Security numbers, doing all kind of stuff. We're trying to stop all of that kind of thing from happening. That's the point. We know these humans are not living getting these checks, but somebody could be getting them. Somebody is getting them, and we're trying to stop that from happening.
The checks stop at a certain point automatically, because those checks and balances.
But those Social Security numbers get counted for various parts of the federal government. So they don't get a benefit directly to those people, but they count for money that gets allocated to different departments in their budget. And they shouldn't be. If somebody is no longer alive, they shouldn't be able to count that.
I guess my fundamental question was, what are the risks here of Elon dabbling in elections for Republicans going forward?
Well, again, I think in the end, he's going to have to continue to make the case. Part of the reason why, when we talked about our recall, what flipped things for us early on in that recall process, Time Magazine called me Dead Man Walker. And the reason was because all the narratives coming out from the press, coming out from the left, were about all these horrible, egregious things. Once we started to give examples of the things we were actually doing, not the things the press said, not the things that our opponent said, but the things that we were actually doing, when we ended up going before the voters in the final election in the recall, we actually won by more votes than we did.
There you go. So shout out to Scott Walker, again, the former Wisconsin governor, on CNN's Abby Phillip. I forget what her show was called. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, shout out Abby Phillip and shout out CNN. A leftist, of course, she is, but at least she's able to allow the other side to get their talking points out, which is very, very important. Now, let's go to UK right quick. Let's go to UK. So look, 2 parents were arrested in UK for a text in the group chat complaining about their kid's school. Okay. So because there was a group chat, now you want to come bring the bobbies or whatever they call them on me. You want to call the police on me for a group chat message? Okay, no sound here from what I hear so far. How many cops are there? What in the world am I under arrest? Y'all gonna take me to the penitentiary? Big rocks, little rocks. Look, I'm counting how many people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cops. 6 cops for a group chat message? Is that what we doing? UK, really? And hold on, are these real cops? Do they have guns, badges, or are they just like security guys? You know, we saw that other video of the young lady retreating from the actual offender until some men showed up. You bringing the whole force out there for a group chat message, criticizing the school. It wasn't about trying to blow it up. It was about, well, I don't like what happened at the school. You. Anyway, let's move forward here. This is the Prime Minister. What's his name? Keir Starmer. So the Prime Minister of UK, he's blaming the rise in crime on boys being exposed to misogyny and hatred. We trying to blame Andrew Tate? Is that what's going on? Let's watch this, shall we?
Work together, and what can we do as a society to stop and prevent young boys being dragged into this whirlpool of hatred and misogyny? And it is young boys predominantly in this particular instance. But also, how can we protect young girls that are at risk? Because obviously that's a very strong feature of the, the documentary, the drama. That again, as I say, my boy is 16, my girl is 14, so I'm seeing this very much through both sets of eyes, and that's why I think it hits hard. Work.
Okay, so what do y'all think? Do you guys live in UK? Some of you guys might live in UK. Do you know about UK? What do you think is the cause for the rise in violence? Is it because the boys are being exposed to misogyny? Is that what's going on? And here's my question. In what demographic is the crime rising more? Talk about that part. Do we have an uptick in crime with recent migrants? How about some of these, Middle Eastern, Syria, Afghanistan, some of them? Pakistan, they might not understand the ways of the United Kingdom's culture, and they're doing things the way they did it in their country of origin, and they might not really be too kind to women. But you got to think about that before you allow them in your country. If you don't want boys to engage in that kind of behavior, then why would you import boys who are going to have that kind of behavior because they do that in the country of origin? Talk about that part. Maybe you want to blame Andrew Tate, but I don't think Andrew Tate is responsible for the rise in crime over there in UK. I don't think so. Now, Andrew Tate is very popular because guys like this exist. Now, this is Wales. Look, hold on. Wait a minute. Do you guys see the contrast between the foreground and the background? This is Wales. These are the Welsh. You got a beautiful castle in the background made by this guy's ancestors. Beautiful castle. He's in the front of the actual video with a dress and high heels on, with a beard and long hair. His ancestors are rolling in their graves. But let's watch.
This week, while thinking about what to say, I thought about my heart full of anger. I thought about the violence that we've all faced. I thought about the dignity that had been removed from so many of us from a system that does not care. And then I thought about the softness. I thought about the fearless trans woman that I was, walking down the street without a care for the catcalls or the harassment.
Catcalls? Bro, catcalls? All right, hold on. Let me let him finish.
And I wondered where she was. Today, as we march, I would like to ask all of us to remember the mothers whose backs carried us to this moment, the sisters who we walk arm in arm with, and the unknown victims, those that never got a name, that never even got a grave, the women that remain nameless in scrolls of history that will never see recognition, who were painted over by a system that does not view us as equal.
Bro, bro, what are you talking about? Listen, if this was back in the days when that castle was built, you couldn't even be right there standing. If this was back in the day when that castle behind you was built, you wouldn't be able to be right there at all. They'd have been done away with you. They'd have been put you somewhere else. If you be living, you'd be lucky. But you most certainly couldn't be right here in the town square on the microphone talking crazy like that. So I think that you are in a better position than you know. But, you know, that's the whole thing. Good times create weak men. Weak men create bad times. That's what you're seeing right here, right in front of your very eyes. And are these Palestine flags? Yeah, we got Palestine flags in the background. And now I know those aren't, hold on. Now that's not Welsh flags. That is something else. It looks like Palestine right there. So yeah, shout out to the Welsh. Hey, your ancestors, bro, they're not really feeling what you got going on right now. You're looking like Miss Doubtfire. Okay, they're not feeling what you got going on. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, where am I going next here? Oh, this is funny. So Catherine Marr, and I don't think she's related to Bill Maher, but Catherine Marr said something right here that might be a little bit strange to hear. We know about NPR. If you don't know, Catherine Marr is the CEO of NPR. We know what NPR is. We know what kind of coverage they have. We know what kind of stories they write. So when you hear her say this, y'all give me some feedback on what you think about what she said. Check it out.
Talking about NPR, NPR is not biased in its coverage.
You're talking about the national shows that originate out of
national news shows that we produce. I'm speaking about our editorial news gathering function.
Right.
There is not bias in NPR. I will say, I admitted to this the other day yesterday, feels like a long time ago.
Yeah.
I was speaking with our editorial leadership. One thing that came up quite frequently was the Hunter Biden laptop story.
Indeed.
And our editorial leadership today says, we wish we'd gotten on that earlier.
And you, in fact, expressed a regret yesterday in the hearing. That was one of the newsworthy things. You came out whole from that hearing. But what made news was your regret that you had not done a better job institutionally on the Hunter Biden story.
Yeah, and to be clear, I'm not on the editorial side of the organization, and I was not there at the time.
But you represented it as your feeling and as the feeling of the editorial team today.
That's correct, because we feel as though it was a big story and we didn't get on it early enough. And so is that a mistake? Sure. We can acknowledge that we are not always perfect. My belief is that it's not our goal to be trusted, it's our goal to be trustworthy, which means we get up every single day and we try to do the best job so that we earn the worth, that we are worth people's trust, but we never assume that we're trusted.
But they assume, speaking of assuming, they assume that you didn't cover that story more fully because you're biased.
I do understand that, and that's why I think it's important to acknowledge when we're not.
But you don't think that was bias?
I was not there, and I cannot speak to the conversations that happen. I don't know.
I mean, they can't just answer a question directly. Yes, it was biased when you didn't cover the Hunter Biden laptop story. Yes, it was biased. Just say that. Okay, you weren't there. It's not your fault. You didn't do nothing. Okay, cool. But just say what it was. Now, about NPR, do you guys believe her when she says that they're not biased? Do you guys believe that NPR has it's just straight up down the middle? Do y'all believe that? I don't think any of these mainstream outlets are unbiased. I don't think any of them are. Reuters and NPR, Reuters and AP used to be non-biased, but even they're very biased now. But NPR, what do y'all think? Oh, shout out to you, Live with ZWY says ABL greater than NPR. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. You guys are saying no. Own your bias, people. No shame in it. Exactly, Retro AI. Exactly, right on. Just own it. And NPR used to be better than what it is right now. They used to be years ago, before Trump came along, they were better. NPR was better. AP, Reuters, a lot of these outlets were better. It's not that I'm just going to say anything that's not conservative leaning, inherent, like obviously conservative leaning is bias. I'm not going to say that. I'll give you credit if you are liberal and you give the other side a fair shake. And I'll give you credit if you are not expressly conservative, but you're not also expressly liberal. I'll give you credit for that. I'm not going to be one of these guys that just says, if you're not on my side 100%, then you're biased. But they are biased. And I don't think they understand how biased they are. They live in the echo chamber. Like I was saying about Tampon Tim. They don't realize how this guy really looks. They think that he's going to be somebody that we like because he's a football coach. And you guys like football, right? Why you don't like Tampon Tim? Because we see what he really is. We, the people, see him differently than you see it. Catherine Marr might think that they're not biased, but when we read it, we can feel the bias. It's not like they're hiding it. We see it with our own two eyes. Maybe they don't see it. I don't know. Now, here's Bill Maher, no relation to Catherine Marr, talking about NPR and PBS being biased. Now, you know when you got this guy talking about your bias on the left, it might be true.
Of NPR and PBS testified before Congress this week amid accusations of liberal bias. Should the government continue to send taxpayer dollars to public broadcasters? Well, a little background here. I mean, they've been after them for, the Republicans have wanted to get rid of PBS for as long as I can remember. This crowd will probably do it. I mean, I also read my namesake, Catherine Marr, was head of NPR, and, you know, she said, we're completely unbiased. Give me a break, lady. I mean,
even Bill Maher and his crowd laughing at her saying that they're not biased. Laughing.
They're crazy far left. So, I mean, I think we're past, my view, we're past the age, really, where the government, first of all, why do we need to subsidize? Why can't we have outlets like this? And we're so polarized. These outlets became popular at a time when Republicans and Democrats didn't hate each other and weren't at each other's throats and didn't think each other was an existential threat. In that world, you can't have places like this, I think, anymore. They have to be private.
Right on. So there we go. Shout out to Bill Maher. Hey, look, if they want to have their bias, they want to have their swing, whatever, they want to have their leanings, and go ahead. But why must they get taxpayer money? Because that's the whole thing. PBS, NPR, they get taxpayer money. Why are we funding propaganda? Why? For what? If they want to put out whatever they want to put out, let them do it on their own dime. If they're good enough, look, they already got the viewers, they got everything. Okay, just make money like that. Put some ads, I don't know, do something. But you don't need our money if you're going to be biased to the left like that. So yeah, shout out Bill Maher for keeping it all the way real right there. All the way real. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay. Child labor laws. Now, Ron DeSantis, Florida passed a bill, I think Senate Bill 918, and the bill seeks to remove some quote unquote child labor restrictions. And this applies to people 14 and up. So if you're 14, they're going to remove some restrictions as far as how many hours you can work. And 16 and 17, they're going to remove some of the mandatory meal breaks. I like it. When I was 14, I was trying to work. I was 14 years old, ready to go to work. I got a lot of energy. I was big. I'm 6 foot tall, 200 something pounds at 14. I'm ready to work. Let's get it. If I could have found how to get a work permit, if I could get that, then I would have been straight. But I didn't know how to do that. But when I was 16, I worked with 14-year-olds because some of the jobs we're doing are not like they make it seem like, oh, these children, they're going to put them in coal mines. They're going to be around dangerous chemicals. We're talking about working at Piggly Wiggly, Olive Garden, stuff like cutting grass. Because listen, a lot of y'all watching probably worked before 14. Because what kind of jobs are kids doing? What kind of jobs have kids always done? Babysitting, in the barbershop, sweeping up hair, cutting grass, washing cars, shoveling snow, things like this kids will do at 10 years old, 11 years old, 12 years old. When I was probably maybe in my early 20s, I had little kids coming to my door, 2 black kids coming to my door. They probably were about 10-ish, 11-ish, with a bucket and a rag talking about, can we wash your car for $5 each? I'm like, yeah, y'all go ahead, man. Y'all do it. I gave them 10 each because, you know, I like the industriousness of these kids to come out here and get money in a legal, wholesome way. Washing cars, cutting grass. Kids are going to do that. And also talk about something else. You got boys selling dope at 10 years old. I knew guys that were getting locked up at 12, 13 years old for selling dope. 12 and 13 years old selling dope. Yes. So why can't they go work at Food Lion or something like this at 14? You got kids playing sports, traveling all over the country, traveling far places. They might get back from an away game like 11 p.m., 11:30, and they might have class in the morning. That's fine, but God forbid they work a closing at a McDonald's at 14 years old. So I can get paid. So if I'm getting paid to be out past 11 o'clock, that's wrong, and it's child labor. But if I'm often paying sometimes, travel, baseball, basketball, football, soccer, etc., if I'm paying for that and I go to an away game and I don't get back till like 1 o'clock in the morning and I got to go to school in the morning, that's totally fine, right? Okay, make it make sense. Now, here's a video from a Florida, I think, state senator talking about this whole situation, and he's not really a big fan, if I'm not mistaken. Let's watch.
Why do we say we need to import foreigners, even import them illegally, when, you know, teenagers used to work at these resorts? College students should be able to do this stuff.
Now, he's reading what Ron DeSantis said.
I just read a quote to you from Governor Ron DeSantis last week, saying the quiet part out loud.
Okay, first of all, you already know what it is. Rainbow right there, but I digress.
The quiet part being that we're somehow going to solve the current labor shortage that we have in Florida that was worsened with anti-immigrant rhetoric with child labor. For the record, we know that minors, they're already working these jobs, and that's okay.
Okay, so what's the problem?
With regulations. The problem is that we're getting rid of almost all of the regulations for
such as
so many of these minors. You look through the bill and you see that they are removing all restrictions on child labor for 14 and 15-year-olds who have graduated from high school, who have a diploma equivalent, or who are enrolled in homeschool or virtual school. So is it suddenly okay to force a 14 or 15-year-old to work overnight on a school night? Just
force? Like, when you're talking about slavery, look, if you want to work, that's your prerogative. Ain't no slavery going on. Okay? So when you say force how? How are you going to force someone to work? That's called slavery. That's illegal already.
Just because they're virtual school? Why does it make it okay if they're homeschool or virtual school? I don't think it does.
Because they got time. So it's like, why can't I work?
We're also removing all of the child labor protections for 16 and 17-year-olds.
Is a 17-year-old a child? Listen, when I was 16, I was pretty much grown. When I was 16, I was an adult. Keeping it all the way real, I was an adult, really probably at age 14, but I wasn't quite all the way there yet. But by 16, I was an adult, for sure.
It's right here in the bill. Line 18, we're striking out restrictions that say they can't work before 6:30 and after 11 p.m. when school is scheduled the following day. This bill is going to lead to exploitation of minors.
That is so soft. When I was 17 years old, I used to work the closing shift, and I would be out past 11 o'clock sometimes. Okay, and it's okay because I'm 17. First of all, I got energy. I'm 17, so I'm not going to be like all exhausted, all this and that. I'm good. And I'm 17, so it's like I'm about to be done with school. By the time I started working that kind of schedule, like 2 to close or whatever, I had like 2 classes. Even if I didn't, it's not really a big deal. As long as I'm able to get school done and then go to work at a certain time, I'm good. I got enough time to do my homework, go to work, come home, take a shower, go to bed, get up in the morning, do it again.
Exploitation of children. And I get the parental rights conversation. There's no reference to parental rights in the bill. There's no text that says it's the parent opting in to say that the employer can require this of the employee who is a minor.
All right, so there we go. But see, you know what? This kind of rhetoric is just very soft. And a lot of your LGBTs are soft like that. Not all, but a lot of them. And that right there is an issue. When I was 17, I was not a child. I was not a little boy, a baby. I was really an adult at age 16. So 17, look, at age 17, I have a job in the car. I have a job in the car and I'm going to school. And then once I go to college, I'm doing the exact same thing. In college, I was doing the exact same thing that I was doing in high school in the past couple years. Like from, I would say, junior year of high school through college, I was doing the same thing, working school and having fun on the weekend whenever I can. That's what I was doing throughout the entire time. But the main thing is I got money in my pocket, I'm getting work experience, and I'm educating myself throughout the entire time, elevating myself the entire time. So for this guy to be like, oh, you can't do that. Why? Why can't I do that? Also, this kind of guy right here will also say that you should vote at age 16. So I can vote at age 16, but if I'm going to stay out past 11 o'clock at night working an honest job, God forbid we do that. It's really crazy. So yeah. Oh, here's something else. I can't work, right? I can't work at age 17 past 11 o'clock, but I can be 10 years old and become transgender. I can do that all day long. Ain't that right, Mr. LGBT? Ain't that right? What if I asked you, sir, if you can be transgender at 12 years old like Dwayne Wade's boy, quote unquote, Zaya, in Florida as well, where you are? You would support that at 12 years old. Puberty blockers, hormone blockers. God forbid a boy wants to work at Food Lion at age 16 to closing. So silly. So silly. We can't have our children be raised this way, to be soft and not working until they get to be. And you know what? When a lot of times when they don't get their early work experience, they be 25 years old, never had a job. They're behind already. They're behind already. Okay, now, this guy right here, I got to talk about this right quick with you guys since I'm on a stream. This individual left his kids at McDonald's as he went on the quote unquote job interview. Can I say right now, I'm not buying a job interview story. Let me tell you all of the details that I know. So this guy, who is, by the way, 24 years old, yes, 24, what's that, 24, 24 years old, he left his kids at a McDonald's while he went on a job interview, allegedly. Now, the kids are aged 10, Yes, a 10-year-old, and he's 24 years old. The kids are aged 10, 6, and 1, a baby. Now, they were left there at about 4:30 p.m. He came back and then left again. And then by the time the kids were retrieved, it was 6:18 p.m. So almost 2 hours. So here's my question. If it was a job interview, why did it take that long? If it was a job interview, why did you leave, come back, and then leave again, and then come back again and get the kids? Why did the mom pop up at a certain time? What happened here was he walked with the kids from his house because he has no car. He walked from the house to the McDonald's, left them there, left, came back, and left again. If it was, oh, well, I was just, if you had nowhere to leave the kids, you could had them at the house. And y'all know how it is when you are small and you left by yourself in the house. What does your mom say? When I leave here, lock the door behind me and do not open the door for anyone. Stay in the house. That's what you're normally told. This right here was him using McDonald's as a way to watch the kids. He did not believe the 10-year-old was able to watch the 6 and the 1-year-old infant, the baby, 12 goo gaga still. Now, people talking about, oh, well, 10 years old, that's old enough. Okay, but there's also a baby. It's funny how those who want to defend this forget about the baby involved. He wants to use McDonald's as a free daycare service, and that's not what they're there for. That's not what they're there for. Okay, you had no choice. You running out of options. It's not your responsibility as a Walmart, Target, Food Line, McDonald's employee to watch kids. And here's something else. Watch this. Let's say you're in McDonald's, right, eating a hamburger, chicken sandwich, chicken tendies, whatever you got, right? Here comes this guy, Mr. Chris Lewis, talking about, hey, can you watch my baby for me right quick? I'm about to go do X, Y, and Z. What you going to say? What would you say if a stranger said, hey, can you watch my infant and my 6-year-old and my 10-year-old right quick? I ain't watching your kids, fool. I don't know you. Look, I'm going to eat my sandwich and go about my business. If you leave those kids here, I'm on the phone. Like, yo, this dude talking about something, can you watch my kids? And he left. Come get the baby and his other kids. Come get them. A 10-year-old, I understand. Leave him at home, he'd be totally fine. A 6-year-old and a 10-year-old, that might be all right. But a baby, I don't think he thought the 10-year-old could watch the kids because he left all the kids at the McDonald's rather than the house, which is right across the street or right down the street. Because he walked from his house to the McDonald's, left them there, left them, came back, and left again. So, nah, I'm not believing him. What do you guys think? Was it something that he had to do? He was just trying to get a job, all this, that, and the third. And here's something else. Bro, if you get the job, where the kids going to go? Are you going to be able to afford daycare after you get this job that took 2 hours and 2 trips to McDonald's with your kids there to get? I'm not believing this story. You probably were out there busting the jug, as the cool kids say. Busting the jug, busting some, getting some, you know what I mean? Doing some illegal activities, and you use the McDonald's to watch your kids for you in the meantime. That's what I think happened, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Y'all let me know. Drug play. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. Thank you. I know it ain't just me to think that way. No, the interview was not at McDonald's, Kelly K. That's a good question. The interview was not at McDonald's. The interview was somewhere else, allegedly. So he brings the kids to McDonald's and he leaves the McDonald's. He comes back to the McDonald's and leaves again. Then he comes back again to retrieve the kids almost 2 hours later, after the initial leaving them there. So now you're going in and out of the McDonald's like it's just your house. Leave the kids at home, get a babysitter or something else. So yeah, I'm not really. Yeah, and then that's something else, Jay. The time don't make no sense. You go to an interview at quitting time. I mean, it could have been a warehouse or something like that, but if it was a warehouse interview, it ain't gonna take no 2 hours. Yeah. And if you're able to come check on them, then what were you doing? What was the job interview then? Why you gotta, did you leave the job interview in the middle of it to go check on the kids and then come back to the interview? I'm not buying it. And the whole thing about, I got a job interview, that's a common excuse people like that use to leave their kids with strangers and make them take care of them. I don't like that. And then here's something else. If we allow that kind of behavior to persist, everybody would do it. Because who couldn't afford childcare? Not very many people. So they just leave them anywhere. Leave them in a department store, leave them in the McDonald's, leave them here, leave them there. And I'm going to be on the phone with the CPS immediately. I got CPS on speed dial. Matter of fact, I have a caseworker over there I know by name. And like, hey, John, hey, we got some more kids over here, man. Come get them. Yeah, bring Susan. Bring your wife, Susan. Bring your wife, Susan, with you, man. Come get them. That's what I'm going to say. Nobody got time for that, man. Now, I empathize with those who are really trying hard, really going hard to provide for their kids. But can I say something else since I'm right here talking about it? Let's say something else. If you're 24 years old and you already got a 10-year-old, you started off wrong because you got a baby at 13, 14 years old. Then you got a 6-year-old and a 1-year-old. At what point do you say, you know what? I'm in middle school with a baby. Maybe I shouldn't have any more. Maybe I should stop right now. Nah, you don't do that. You have 2 more. And you leaving them at McDonald's where you go bust a joke. Why you go sell this pack. Why you go re-up your work. Why you go pay the dope man. I don't like it. I don't like it. So yeah, shout out to him. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay. We got super chats on deck. Then I'm going to get to the calls. The number to call is, let me get it right this time so I don't say the wrong number. The number to call is what? 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. We'll get to the calls in a moment. Super chats on deck. Then I'm going to get to the calls. Thank you to Apple Barker All Puff Daddy who says, ABL opinion on the brother ramming a Tesla with the 4-wheeler. Oh, yeah. That was funny. That was a while ago. Yeah, Walmart Tavius, lock them up, man. Big Rocks, Little Rocks. Thank you to Apple Barker All Puff Daddy who says, what's your opinion on a Tesla protesters paid? I think that many of them are paid, but I'm not quite sure how many. I think it's a percentage, but not the majority. I think the rest of them have been brainwashed by the media to protest for free. Thank you to Todd Van Swearingen Angel who says, instead of stems, Doge work out a deal to create consolidation loans to help some folks clear debts to a low interest rate loan instead of giving money back pay, deep state debt, and ease our budget. Thank you to Caius Proximus who said, is it possible that either side can even coexist? Yeah, I think normies who don't buy into what the media says could coexist with each other. I think so. People do it every day, but you got too many irregulars out there that want to, just mess it up for everybody else. Thank you to the white man who gifted 5 ABL memberships. I appreciate you for that. Thank you to Man of the Face, who says, RIP Val Kilmer. Thanks, ABL, for all you do. Let's all give $5 to ABL. Make his time worth it. Thank you for that, man. I appreciate you. And RIP to Val Kilmer. One of the best characters, one of the best actors to play Batman. I almost said one of the best Batmans. That's not correct, I don't think. But yeah, shout out Val Kilmer. RIP to him. He was like, 62 or something? He wasn't that old. Hold on. Let me see his age. He was 65 years old. So RIP to him. Yeah, great actor. Thank you to Atomic Tabasco. It says Happy Liberation Day. Right on. Thank you to Leo Mazzina, who says the left wants the black community to stay on the plantation. Always, of course. Thank you to Kev Studes, who says, I love white women as well. I'm not ashamed of it. Hey, man, if you like it, I love it. Bro, Kev, if you like it, I love it. Knock yourself out. But I know you, if you watching me, you're not one of these pro-wax talking about, I hate the white man, but I love the white woman. I know that's not you, Mr. Kev. I know it's not. So shout out to you, boss. Thank you to Dolores Renteria for your super chat. Thank you to Marta Allen, who said 37 illegal roofers in Washington State arrested by ICE. Well, hey, they can work on the roof in the penitentiary they're about to go to. Thank you to Shell, who says, none your business with the American flags, heart emojis. I appreciate you for that. Thank you to Lucius Salvador for your donation. Thank you to Kaish Posthumous, who says, troubled kids should be in the Young Marines. Exactly, right on. Yeah, troubled kids, send them to the boot camp. Like I was saying before, if these kids can't read by the 3rd grade, put them in a camp. Put them in the camp. Or not a camp, pardon me. I want to say that a little bit nicer. Not at camp, but put them in some kind of trade school where they're able to get educated differently. Because if you can't read by the 3rd grade, it's going to be a rough road for you. Thank you to Michael Critso, who says, RIP Chris Arsenault, founder of Happy Cat Sanctuary in Long Island, New York, and the 100 cats who died in a suspicious fire. God bless animal care workers. Right on. Shout out to him, RIP to him, and RIP to the cats. Thank you to Atomic Tabasco, who says Sage Steele and Harris Faulkner, great journalists. And Harris Faulkner, big fan of hers for a long time. Yeah, very, very elegant, respectful, always on point, great people. Thank you to Lothair, who says, seriously, age 14 or 13, you got a kid, WTF, he had 2 more. Exactly. It's like, bro, if you have a baby in middle school, maybe you should stop right there and say, you know what? I got to get it together. But you keep popping them out. And then when you go to McDonald's and have them watch your kids for you while you go bust a jug, I got to feel bad. I don't feel no ways tired. Shout out to Hillary Clinton. Lothair says, OMG, I was in the Young Marines. Me and my wife first met there when we were 12. OMG, boot camp was the best. LOL, no joke. ROTC and Young Marines. Yeah, shout out to y'all. Shout out to, what's the name of that? Job Corps. Is y'all go to that? Job Corps, all that kind of stuff. Hey, any kind of program that really works and helps kids, I'm with it. If it gets them prepared for the future, gives them a little bit of education, work skills, I'm 100% for it. Man, look, if I could be the king, I had these kids in there 8 years old working with tools, soldering, framing houses, all of that. Everything. Power tools, the whole 9 yards. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. Because who's going to teach them? These kids a lot of time come from these households where it ain't nothing really going on. Man, I put them to work and educate them so they'll be prepared for the future. Thank you to LJ Taylor, who says, hey, ABL, do you follow BCP and Devorah Dawkins? It'd be awesome if y'all had a monthly panel. Shout out to them. I'm familiar with them. Good guys. I don't really watch their stuff because they're political channels. And when I watch political channels, sometimes what some of them may say may get into my thought process. And I want you guys to have original content. Thank you to Lothair, who says, shout out to my wife, Sarah, and my son, Jensen. I got a new tattoo with my son's name on it. Shout out to you, boss. All right, let's get to some calls here. The number to call, 706-406-3287. Did I get that right? Yeah, 706-406-3287. I'm dealing with a new number and a new system. Y'all please pardon me. So it might be a little bit weird me trying to say that number and getting it wrong. But let's go ahead and get rocking with that. Again, 706-406-3287. The number is always in the description and it's right there in the ticker. There it is, 706-406-3287. Let's get rocking and rolling. Let's go to 731, your line speaker 2.
Hey, ABL, this is Carlita Watson. How you doing?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
Hey, I'm doing well. I just want to let you know I enjoy your podcast. I don't know what you guys are talking about, but I just chimed in, and I just want to say keep up the good work, and you bring out a lot of good information. I will be winding back and just listen to what all you been talking about today. So I just want to say thank you.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Great call. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the show. I try to always give you the good information. You know, try to always give the information that the media doesn't really want to give you, or they don't want to give you the information in the real way. So shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for the support. Couldn't do it without you. 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony, how you doing? It's FNA Ranger Xbox.
All righty, man. It's all good. What's happening?
Oh, nothing much. About the kids working, I just want to say I'm 64 years old. I've been working like an adult since I was 12 years old. My dad drove a truck after he retired out of the Navy in 1970. Worked for state of Indiana for a couple of years as a millwright at the state hospital, which we wouldn't have so many loony Democrats, protesting at these Tesla dealers if we hadn't closed down all the mental hospitals. But that's another story. Anyway, my dad was sure to point out to me that the child labor laws allow children to work for the family business. My dad's business was hauling furniture in and out of his semi-truck, and I hated every minute of it. Carrying couches, pianos, boxes, washing machines, and I'm a little guy. But, yeah, I don't see where washing dishes in a restaurant, to me, that was a picnic compared to hauling furniture in and out of a semi-truck. Oh, give me a mop and a bucket any day. I'll let you go with that, ABL. It ain't going to hurt them to teach them a good work ethic when they're young, because they're damn sure going to need it for the rest of their life if they plan on succeeding. Y'all have a good night. God bless you, ABL. Keep up the good work, brother. Bye-bye.
Thank you for the call. All right, great call. And you know what? I feel the same way, like washing dishes. I did that for a long time at Old Country Buffet, washing dishes. But before that, I worked at Sam's Club, and I worked at a place called Garden Ridge. And what I was doing over there, I'm loading up, especially at Sam's Club, we would load up trucks of people that had stores. So if you had like a corner store, something like this, you got all kind of snacks and cakes and pies and drinks and all kind of stuff. We would load everything in there. We would load up that, like snacks and stuff. We loaded it up. I think one time, I don't know how, but there was a baby grand piano we loaded up. I don't know who got that, how it was at Sam's Club, but it was. Big furniture. I'm talking about your back ain't no more good. But I'm 16, so it's like I'm 16 and I'm 6'2", 200 and something pounds. I'm built like an ox. Like, I'm good. So washing dishes was simple. It's like, it's nothing. All I gotta do is just spray this and put it in the machine. It was easy. It was for me, it was fun. I enjoyed doing it. 206 you're online. Who am I speaking to?
This is Danielle from Seattle.
All righty, what's happening?
Yeah, sorry, there must be a little delay here. I turned down the radio. I just wanted to say, huge fan of your show. I'm kind of a newer listener. My sister is a big fan. She's a super chatter, I guess. I want to say that I was in the Young Marines when I was about 13. I saw them at an air show. It got signed up with them, and it was one of the best things that ever happened to me. When I got accepted into the Marine Corps, I would have graduated out of boot camp as a private, not a PFC. So it's a great program. Highly recommend it. Ultimately, I couldn't go through with boot camp. I got PDQ'd based on a bladder infection, actually. And so they PDQ'd me from going into the Marine Corps, which sucks. But I did find a different path. But I did want to let you know that I've been owning and operating with my husband a roofing company in Washington State for 10 years now. And there was a major ice bust this morning. 37 masked and unmarked vehicle ICE agents came into Mount Baker Roofing Company in Bellingham, Washington, and detained 37 individuals. So this is going to be a big impact in the roofing business here in Washington State. So it's basically all I wanted to say.
Well, thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you. All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, but we got a big ice bust. I'm with it. Shout out to the federales for doing their job. 859, you know how I'm speaking to.
Hey, how's it going, ABL? How's it going?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
All doing fantastic. Luciferian Libertarian here, my friend. I'll just pick up a few orders here and there. And, I mean, to be personally honest with you, the whole child labor laws thing, when I was the age of 14, 13 years old, I apologize for the GPS. But I've been working ever since those ages at my uncle's garage. And my uncle used to own a car dealership, and it was a fun experience. And to be perfectly honest with you, like, you should teach the younger youth about work. It should be a priority thing, because how are you going to live without, when you go on your own? It doesn't make any sense. And there should be some form of discipline, because best believe me and my wife, back when we were younger, we weren't exactly the best kind of people. So that really straightened us out when we were younger, be adults. And I just don't get why these young youth these days, they waste their time with video games, TikTok, and there's no motivation of work or building anything. It's kind of sad.
Right, I agree with you. And it's pretty important to get those early life skills, because you're going to need them once you're out there on your own. When you're still young enough to have your parents and whatnot, it's easier to develop those skills then. But if you're just out in the street trying to develop it, you're going to be behind. It's going to be a challenge.
Oh, definitely. I'm about to have my renewals with my wife, and I was just wondering if anybody wants to come to our renewals, Lex, Kentucky. Hey, just let us know. Hey, sometime we get the date, we get the time. Y'all invited.
Right on,
I've been knowing her for years, man. So, and I recently got a tattoo of my son tattooed on me. So, I hope you guys have a good night. It's about to storm over here pretty soon, around 2 o'clock in the morning. So, give you guys a heads up. Hey, thank you very much for taking my call, ABL.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Hey, no problem. Always listen, my friend. Talk to you later, bro.
All right, now. All right, talk to him, man, for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Let's go 512. You don't line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, it's the automotive truth from Connecticut to Texas. I get you every Saturday. I got you on a Wednesday today. How are ya?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
Good. So these liberals that are burning up these Teslas and the dealerships and all this that's going on, I'm convinced that it's pharma. They're eating up those pills and all those antidepressants. I believe. What do you think about that? What do you think? I believe it's all coming from the pocket of Soros, paying them, feeding them, and this is the zombie era we're in, and this is just what's happening. What do you say?
I think it could be some of that, but it could also be that they are brainwashed by the media. Whatever the media says, they're going to go out there and do.
A little bit of that also, I believe, yeah. But I just think that they're just they lost their minds, and I'm telling you, everything that they're putting in their bodies, between the food and the pills that they're taking, is, it's just bringing them to a level of just being programmed. That's why we got to eat healthy. We got to get on that carnivore diet, eat some real eggs, some real meat, grow our own stuff. What do you say?
Oh, absolutely. 100% correct. And I always talk about that. I was saying that earlier. It's like, okay, if you're 1,000 pounds, you're a super big back, I need you to go ahead and lose some weight, get in shape, because you cannot rely upon the government or big pharma to give you a pill to save you. That pill puts you in the early grave more than anything else.
100%. Yes, I have a hard time taking advice from someone that's obese, not even just slightly overweight, but obese, and or even confused about whether they're a dog or a cat or that other stuff that the alphabet situation. I have a hard time listening to people and taking advice from somebody that doesn't have a sound mind.
Exactly. Same here.
All right, brother. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Take care now.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Great call. But yeah, if you're morbidly obese, like you pretty much like are in the chair like that dude, Dave Blunt's. If you're looking like Dave Blunt's, and if you guys have not seen him, hold on. Can I show Dave Blunt's right quick? Yeah, if you are looking like this character, telling me anything about anything, then I'm like, all right, bro, whatever, man. Like, get off the couch, like try walking around a little bit first, and then you can talk to me about something about relating to life. But until then, don't even really do nothing, man. Just go ahead and get off the couch. 90. Okay, I was a little too slow to that one. And I'm not trying to attack everybody for not looking like a beauty queen or a fashion model, but Come on, man, get it together. 903, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up, ABL? What's up?
What's going on, boss? What's happening?
Yeah, so my thing is, where do you stand when people are getting deported with no criminal record and Trump is not obeying court orders?
Okay, now who has no criminal record?
The dad had no criminal record. The hairstylist had no criminal record. I mean,
so the dad. I mean, are you sure about that?
Yes, the judge put a status on him not to be messed with. The judge said he got a status not to be touched because he fled a country from gangbang. But this will regard that. Where do you stand on the tariffs that just dropped today? It's like they hitting us with all this news is just crazy. Everything that's going on in the government now is just it's just insane.
Okay, so what are the tariffs?
You ain't see he put 20% here, 25% here on different countries. I mean, how is this good? 25% on all foreign vehicles. Like, how would this help Americans?
Okay, well, I can answer that question in two ways. First of all, if there are tariffs on certain countries, are there tariffs from those countries on us? That's one. But the second thing is, as far as the auto industry, the intention is to empower American companies like a Tesla, Ford, etc., rather than the foreign companies.
So, okay, up under Joe Biden, the unemployment rate was low. People was working. Unemployment for blacks was low. Unemployment for whites was low. So if we getting rid of all these immigrants that pay taxes and that's contributing to society, if we get rid of all of them, so what we're going to be left to do? Use child as labor? Use children as labor? Instead of teaching up kids and putting more money into education, we get rid of education, the Board of Education, defunding kids, and then sending them into factories to work. Wouldn't the smart thing to do is send kids to school and college and extend healthcare for elderly and undeveloped kids with cancer and stuff like that? Wouldn't it be the smart thing to give people opportunities that don't have it instead of making them work in factories? Child labor.
Okay, so I think you might be watching a little bit too much TV there, boss. Just a little bit too much, because we're not trying to deny kids education. We're not trying to deny that at all. Okay, so we're talking about the Federal Department of Education. What does the federal DOE actually do? What do they do? Do you know?
Yes, they fund special education. They fund programs for schools that don't have a big budget in small counties or small towns or whatever, or inner cities that don't have a good budget. Federal education fund them, and it's up to the state.
Okay, hold on. You answered the question. So they fund these programs. How much of the state budget for education comes from the federal government? For like a percentage, how much?
You said, say it again?
What's the percentage of funding that comes from the federal government that states use on education?
I think it's like 30%.
Where'd you read that?
But so what I'm saying
No. Come on, let's stay with me now. Stay with me. Where'd you read that?
I said I think it's around 30%.
Where'd you get that? Where'd you get that number from?
And it's different. It's different for every state.
Okay, but where'd you get 30% from?
I think Kansas is like 30%.
My man, you're not my man. Come on 40. Now, look, be honest. Come on, hold on. Let's be honest now. Come on.
For every state.
Okay, so the answer is you don't know, right?
No, it's different for every state.
Do you know what? Do you have an idea what the number is?
For what state?
Okay, New York.
New York is. I don't know New York off the top of my
head. Okay, all right. Hold on. So, what state do you know?
I just told you, Kansas is 30%. Then like Louisiana's like 40%.
Okay, now the next question is, where'd you read that?
Bro, I can't remember.
What you want to say is you don't really know. I'm gonna look out for you. The reality is that states are more than capable of handling education without the federal government being involved. Also, when it comes to funding, just because there's no more federal DOE does not mean that funding ends. You still have other departments like the Treasury. So you're talking about Pell Grants, student loans. That'll still be a thing that happens, just not from the federal DOE. What the federal DOE does oftentimes is bully schools from DC into doing certain things that don't help the kids. Often, but they hold on, not done. Hold on, not done. Almost. Give me a second. Also, they often will require schools to do things without giving the money to do it. So really the DOE just kind of gets in the way of the state DOEs. You got, in Tennessee, you have a state DOE for K through 12, one for college, and each county has their own individual DOE. We don't need the federales all down our back to teach kids what 1 + 1 is.
But what I'm saying, it's the curriculum is up to the state. That's why in Florida, they got rid of critical race theory, black history and stuff like that in the state of Florida before Joe Biden even left the White House. You had certain states pulling back on certain teachings in certain states because it's up to the states, and
yes, okay.
And when as a black man and as a black person, you should understand when it was up to the states before the federal government stepped in, black people wasn't even allowed to integrate schools. LBJ had to send federal troops just to get the bigot racist states from abusing African American people. So
okay, now I got a question. Are you from a black area?
Yes.
Now, when you were a kid, what was the race of your schools you went to? Like elementary, middle, high? What was race percentage of black to everybody else?
I'm from a black neighborhood, but I'm from a
The question was,
family.
sir, the question was, what was the racial makeup of the schools you went to?
Predominantly white. I just said that.
Okay, so predominantly white. Now, when I was growing up, I went to 100% black schools until high school. So, did integration happen or not? I don't understand. Does it matter? Does it really matter? I turned out pretty well. I didn't need the white man to hold my hand. I turned out pretty well.
We're not saying that we need the white man to hold our hand, but
so what are you saying? You talking about integration? You talking about integration? Who cares about that?
Because what Martin Luther King was fighting for is for us to have the same opportunity as white kids. So when you go to a white school that was desegregated, they had better books, better curriculum, and we had older books. And Martin Luther King wanted us to have an equal opportunity.
Okay.
And learning and getting educated.
Okay, but look, check it out. But check it out though. I just told you I went to 100% black schools, and I turned out just fine. I know how to read, write, all of that. So did I need to go to the white man? Did I need to have the white man hold my hand to become educated?
It's not about
no. The question is sir. The question was, did I need the white man to hold my hand, or was I just fine at black schools?
Certain schools you would need to go to a white school as a black person if you want to be.
So is the white man better than the black man when it comes to education?
Certain schools, white people have like if you studying to try to do something, your school might not have the budget to do it in a black school to where you need to go to a white school to get the proper education to do a certain job.
So the white man's ice is so the white man's ice is colder, right?
Yes, because they got opportunities that we didn't have. They got loan. We got red line. That's what I'm trying to say.
So when you're a kid, like K through 12, right? Like kindergarten, what would a white school be able to teach me that a black school can't teach me at that age?
K through 12? Oh, okay. Put for instance, say K through 12.
No. I say kindergarten. What will
Okay,
I?
say for kindergarten, for instance. Okay, say for kindergarten, for instance. Say if you're in the state or whatever, and you suffer from redlining laws and wealth inequality in a black community than a white community has more wealth because they didn't suffer from redlining or anything like that. So you got a kid that's in a black school in a black neighborhood that don't get that much funding. You got a white school that get a lot of funding. So you might take trips as a kindergarten in a black school to the park, but in that white school that got a big budget and big funding, they going to the Smithsonian. They going to meet the firefighters. They going to NASA. They taking trips that educate them way more.
Hold on. I'm gonna just educate you because you say you went to mostly white schools, so you don't really know about black schools. Okay. When I was a kid, we did all of that. We went. My dad, first of all, my dad was a firefighter, number one, so I would see him every day anyway. But so we went to the fire station, my dad's fire station. You come to the school and speak. We would go to the Smithsonian. We went to Williamsburg and all that kind of. We went on field trips. Like, you think we don't go on field trips in black schools for real? Is that what you think?
Yeah, they go on field trips, but when I'm saying some black schools don't have the budget as white schools to go, and even some white schools in rural communities, like in Alabama, Arkansas, some white schools don't have a budget either.
So it's not really about black or white. It's about money in your point of view. But at the end of the day, it don't take that much money to teach. Excuse me. It don't take that much money to teach a kid that 1 + 1 is 2. It don't take that much. You go to other parts of the world and their kids learn more than our kids on a lot less money. Go to China where they have a much lower GDP per person, yet they're able to be educated in leaps and bounds beyond us right here. And they had the Great Leap Forward happen in the 1960s. 30 million Chinese died. Raping Nanking. Millions of Chinese died. They had Tiananmen Square in 1989. 2,000 Chinese were killed by the government, but yet they are stomping us into wine when it comes to education with a fraction of the budget. And they have less money than the black people, and they're learning more than the blacks and the whites. They come to our higher education as smokers. So you're just using a bunch of excuses. You stuck in the past. That's what's going on right now.
What I'm saying is we need to put more money into education.
What's money going to do? Listen. Do you know that Baltimore has the most funding per pupil in this country? They're like top 3 funding per pupil in this country. Yet literacy in Baltimore is comparable to the Congo. What's money going to do? Money ain't going to do nothing but just get the teachers some more jewelry, some more cars, some more suits, some more pretty stuff. It's not going to help the kids read at all because it don't cost no money to teach a kid that 1 + 1 is 2. You got to have the parents involved. You got to have the students. Excuse me, sir. You got to have the parents involved. You got to have the kids involved, and you got to have teachers involved. If one of the 3 is not on point, then it's not going to work. It don't matter how much money you want to throw on it. Money won't help that situation go any further. Money won't help. You got to have the people involved to be on the same page, and teachers are only as good as their students and the parents.
So you saying Baltimore get the most funding?
Look it up. They're like top 3 in funding in the nation. Top 3 out of all the schools in the nation. Baltimore public schools. Look it up.
So they get more fun. Their budget is bigger than a school in, say, Palisades, California.
Yes. Look it up. Don't believe me. Don't look it up. I promise. Look it up.
They got a bigger budget. Their high school got a bigger budget than Palisade High School.
I gave you the information. Now, what you got to do right now, rather than asking me, is look it up, and then you'll be surprised. But thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you. All right. Shout out to him. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Let me see if I can find that right quick. While Baltimore City schools are among the highest funded in the nation, they also consistently rank the lowest performing in national assessments, with the city schools performing near the bottom in every category listed. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Y'all thought I was playing? Look, this is on Fox 45 News in Baltimore. I think it's Fox 45. Now, look, I'm gonna show you this right here. All right. Update. Baltimore City now America's third most funded school system. It's right here. Let's read it. As Annapolis, which is the capital of Maryland, is set to pump more money in the Baltimore City schools, we're learning the district has moved up in national rankings for spending. Baltimore City Schools is now the third most funded school system among the 100 largest in America, according to the U.S. Census. Hold on. According to the U.S. Census for 2019, last year when city schools were ranked fifth in the nation, it spent $15,168 per student. Now it's spending $16,184, or nearly $1,000 more per student. That puts Baltimore at number 3 behind only New York City and Boston. Cut the nonsense. It don't take no money to teach kids that 1 + 1 is 2. All right. 301, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yes, sir. Hey, Anthony. This is Thomas. I called you once before. How you doing?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
I'm doing great. So the reason I called is, first of all, I appreciate you taking the questions from our brothers here, because there's some things that we gotta correct the record on. Like, obviously, but not everybody knows. And what we can tell is, based on that conversation, some people are on the fence. You know what I'm saying? They're still mentioning things like redlining. They're still mentioning things that are historic, that have something more to do with the economy and of course violence and rioting and all that kind of stuff in the past, that the fake media and the fake schools want to just cover that up. But let's talk about some of the topics he said. Like, I just want to bring up, okay, unemployment. He mentioned that unemployment was low for black people, right?
Yeah.
He didn't mention nothing about all of the jobs, like 90 plus, I don't know, some people say it's the whole thing, that all of the jobs that came out the last administration, which was the shadow government, he didn't mention nothing about the fact that all those jobs, first of all, they had whistleblowers coming out, multiple whistleblowers coming out, reporting the fact that the jobs were not improving. And then not only that, but all the jobs were government jobs. They're not even black-owned businesses. They're not even actual jobs that people have an incentive to work and provide value. They just get money for free. They were printing money. First of all, the jobs are fake, okay? Second of all, if the unemployment number that he's referencing is the fake number, which is the one that the fake news, they're all syndicated and all saying the same thing, is about 4%. Okay, let's say it's 4%. Averages, first of all, I don't believe in averages, but let's say the unemployment is 4%. The real unemployment, which is called functional unemployment, is 25%. We got functional unemployment, which is a lack of middle-class jobs, at 25%. So if the fake number is 4%, let's say black people are double that. Let's say go at 8 or 6, whatever it is, right? They're employed, but where are they employed? They're employed in functional unemployment. What is functional unemployment? 25%. What is that? Functional unemployment is called the true rate of unemployment, TRU. The true rate, true is TR rate, U, unemployment. True rate, as measured by this institute. What does that actually mean? It means that it tracks the percentage of the U.S. labor force that does not have a full-time job, aka 35 hours a week, but wants one, or who has no job, or does not earn a living wage. Conservatively, that living wage is $25,000. Now that's conservative, right? So that means it might actually be more. So even if they're making, let's say, $25,000, they're functionally unemployed. So where are the middle class jobs? That's all I want to ask this guy. It's 25%. It's not 4%. Everything that they say is a lie. And I know these people. I know these so-called smart people. I'm one of them. But I'm smarter than them. Why? Because it's not because I'm black. It's because it's things that they tell me based on me being black start to piss me off. That's all I'm saying. It should piss me off. I'm tired of them using my mother's skin color, and that's how I'm going to put it. That's all I really want to say.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Appreciate you, too. Great
call. Hey, great call. Great way to, call after the other guy. Hey man, we're here to educate. If I was talking crazy to the other guy, if I was kind of hollering a little bit, don't take that no kind of way, man. I'm just trying to educate, and I feel like sometimes I gotta holler a little bit to get the message to go home. So yeah, shout out to him. That was a good call. All right. And shout out to you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That helped me out tremendously. Okay, here we go. 304 the line I'm speaking to.
Hey man, it's Derek.
All right, what's going on?
It's been a long time, man. I've hollered at you a few times back in the past, man, but it's really been probably a couple years now.
Right on, man. Good to see you back, man. What's happening?
Man, there's a lot been happening. We weren't married, but 10 years down the drain. I'm over here in this one-bedroom apartment now. I ain't really got nothing to say about the show, like opinion-wise, about any topics you spoke about. I just want to say, man, I watch you, dude, and you make a lot of sense. I can't hardly make myself disagree with you, even if I wanted to. It's just like, I mean, facts are facts. And like a while ago, you was talking about, excuse me, the McDonald's dude leaving his kids over there at McDonald's. Like, you know, the struggle is real. It's like, man, I'm going to leave my kids over here at the play place, and I'm going to run over here, get this job interview real quick, and I'm going to come get my kids, my 10-year-old, old enough to take care of them for, you know, a few minutes. I'll be right back. But then you was talking about, like, well, damn, why you got 3 kids, man? You ain't got no job. Like, you know, when you look at it from every angle, it starts to make sense. You know what I mean? Like, okay, this dude got 3 kids. He got to leave McDonald's to go over here to probably some dead-end job anyways. Like, he ain't got nobody in his life can watch his kids long enough to go to the job interview. But that was just one thing that came into my mind. But that's not even the reason I called in, man. I just want to say I've been a long-time fan. I don't even know how long, man. It's been some years, though. I can tell you that. But, man, I'd like to talk to you in person one day. Somehow, I don't know. I've tried to email you and stuff, but I'm sure you get millions of that. But that's about all I got, bro.
Thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, take it easy, bro.
I'll shout out to the caller from West by Guy. I saw that the 304 area code. Shout out to him. Great caller. But yeah, man, I just try to just keep it all the way real. Not no line or nothing like that. Just straight up honesty. That's what I lead with. Honesty is the best policy. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. Yeah, man. I love educating, man. That's one of my things. Once I get to be 1,000 years old, I'm going to still be educating. I'll be the pawpaw telling everybody, look, man, just sit down and shut up. Let me just tell you a few things. That'll be what I do. All right. So, yeah, shout out to all the educators. You guys do the Lord's work. 801, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up, ABL?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Not much. Just listening. I heard that one guy talking about. I can kind of see where he's coming from, but like you said, it comes down to the parents, the teachers, and the students. Because you know, I grew up in like kind of a ghetto school, and the teachers. There were some teachers that were just like totally woke, lazy. But then when my parents moved us to the nicer, richer areas, I noticed the teachers there were a lot more on top of it. You know, they were a lot more like, and a lot of it too is the area, man. Like, I feel like the richer areas, the parents, they're on top of their kids with, you know, they be teaching their kids like finances and all this stuff when they're young, and so when they go to school, they talk at a kind of like a higher language, and so that helped me out a lot. Like I literally moved to the States not knowing English, and if I was to stay in those ghetto schools, man, I'd probably be like the same level, you know, just not really knowing that much English. But because I moved to a nicer area, I think that helped out a lot. and it's actually one of the top schools in Utah. That's where I live. But yeah, man, it comes down to like the parents, because even in the ghetto area, the parents are like lazy, man. It reflects on the kids. I had a lot of friends, that they're cool and all, but just their habits are just lazy habits. They didn't want to do homework. They didn't want to learn. And you could kind of see that it came from their parents. And so, like, it all comes down to, like, that whole environment, That's my little opinion with the whole thing.
Right on, man. Well, thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, bro. Keep up the good work. I'll talk to you later.
All right, now.
Yeah, peace.
Great call. But yeah, he's right on point, man. The main thing about education is you got to have good parents, first of all. Good parents, good kids, because you got good parents. And then the teachers are able to be that final piece. If one of those is messed up, you're going to have a problem. But the most important thing is the parents. And especially when the parents prepare the children. Like I told y'all before, both of my grandparents on my dad's side were teachers, like educators in school. So they taught me a lot of what I know. My dad taught me as well. And they're highly educated. Dad had a master's degree. Like I know a lot about this. 346 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Bald Tire.
All righty. What's happening?
I kind of walked outside for a little while ago when the guy was talking about, because I didn't catch it all, the education as far as blacks not having the same opportunities as whites in the education system and things of that nature. But what I remember, and don't quote me on this, but I do remember Ben Carson said a while ago, and he's an older man, and he was a neurosurgeon for a while. He went to go and to get into a knife fight with some kid, and what kept him from doing that is somebody older that had found out about it. He was apparently going to go stab some kid up when he was like 11 or 10, and that person found out and kept him from doing it. So it's not just about your school; it's about people that are in your area, your neighborhood, and who they are that can have a positive influx on your life. When I was in the 6th grade, I got in a lot of fights, and one was so bad. The kid went to the hospital. He wasn't able to walk properly after that. They said something about me breaking his back. They almost expelled me. It was that bad. The reason I wasn't expelled is because one of my teachers stood up and said, "Hey, I've never had an issue with this guy. I don't see what the problem was." And when I talked to him about it, he found out I kept being picked on by this dude. Dude got me in a headlock. I just started slamming his back into the desk. And he finally let go from the pain or whatever, and that was it. And they were talking about, hey, you got to, So there's a lot of variables and other things into it. It's not just about the school, how much money it is. It's about you, your parents, your neighbors, your friends, the people, and the influences you have in your life. I think that the teachers are also a major factor in it as well.
Of course, it's the whole situation, but it all starts with the parents. That's the key. That gives you the foundation, and then as you develop, you meet other people. Of course, you're going to be a social child, and if you're around positive influences and you got good parents, that's going to lead for a good upbringing. But if you got good parents, but outside is a little bit different, then that can kind of damage you. So it takes a village in the true sense, but the parents are the most important piece.
Yeah, and they're the ones you're going to be spending a lot of your time with when you're outside of school, when you're at home and around them. And like you said, family, and I also do believe, a lot of the instructors, teachers, people that can have a positive effect on you or just negative. I've seen it both ways. I've seen people go good. I've seen people go bad.
Right on.
But, well, you have a good night, sir.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yep.
All right. But yeah, shout out to the caller and shout out to you guys as well. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoyed the show tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. But yeah, that's very important, man. You got to have good parents. The money is not going to help you. If you got a bunch of kids that can't read, and you just drop money on it, then it's not going to help at all. It's not going to help at all, because that's not, you don't teach kids to read by handing them a big bag of money or handing the school a big bag of money. 504, you're on the line. Who's speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's Alien Spaceship.
All right, man. What's going on?
All right. Shout out to you and chat and all the callers. I've really been appreciating the show and the chat, as always. And also, I thought it was interesting with the caller talking about the different schools and stuff. And I went to a private school, and it was a nice area, but as I said before, there's a mixture of different things, different people. And also, it was a good community, but some areas there could have good and bad areas, and it may not always be race specific, and I do think it is good to obtain a self-reliance, and it would be good for the black people to say they had a good school system of their own, and I think that sometimes people could generalize, and it's like, for instance, you came out well, for instance.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really that difficult. People just think they make assumptions about what they don't know. They don't really understand. The one guy was like, he went to mostly white schools. So his viewpoint of what black schools are is from TV, from secondhand accounts, and not from reality. So I think it's really important to talk to everybody to understand what what their needs are, what their desires are.
Exactly. And also, some of my friends that are black, they went to a public school, because I don't really think there's black and white schools anymore. I think there's public schools and private schools. I don't really think that there may be an area that may have more black people, but see, the public schools, they have white people in them, but they may be majority black. And my friends came out well, but they had liberal teachers that were woke, from the government, and they were teaching them silly stuff about the race things, but they ignored that stuff, and they came out well. But remember, I think that the government might install people that go with their woke agenda, in my opinion.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And also, did you hear about the oil tanker that crashed in the Northern Sea?
I did not hear about that.
All right. So recently, there's an oil tanker that crashed. There's a ship crash, and there in 200,000 gallons of barrels of jet fuel was in the sea, and they cleaned it up. And it kind of reminds me of the BP oil spill, and it was the wildlife over there, which this area is in around close to Scotland, but it's like where England is, Northumbria. And also there's the birds and stuff were getting covered, and they're concerned about that. And then there's one of the captains was charged because he for neglect and not doing stuff right, and there are some casualties. But it should be by now in the port of Thai. And when I was doing a live, one of my subs from over there was telling me about it, and I told her, it's like, none of us over here have really heard about that.
Yeah, I mean, some news we just don't hear about, and it seems pretty big spill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think, in my opinion, is that the media and the news, they're so hyper focused on Elon and Doge and these stupid things that they're not showing people what's actually going on. Not on our side, but because we're refuting them. But I think the mainstream media is obsessed with the Orange Man right now.
I mean, yeah, the Orange Man obsession is crazy, and now that obsession has been transferred to Elon.
Yeah, I was seeing some headlines. I don't know if you saw it. It was just today that they're going to stop that he's going to cut the Doge program. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I heard about that, and then Elon responded and said that, that it's fake. Like, they were saying that he was going to step down. It's like, nah, that's fake.
Yeah, because you see all the lies they're saying all over the place, and I think that I'm glad I got to check in with you about that, because I didn't really believe that was true.
Right, yeah, it's a lot of fake stuff coming out. It's just meant to misdirect and confuse people.
Yeah, and also, something else with the trial I'm watching, one of the trials, they're going to be doing the deliberations tomorrow to end it and have the jury talk about it. Yeah, today was very active and wild in chat, and there were some little fights in the trial chat, and I was doing what I can to ease the tensions because some of them were having fights with each other. It's good to stay united. Like with Abraham Lincoln, he kept the country together, and I think it's good to apply that to even groups of friends. to not have two different groups, split apart like that.
Yeah, of course. Good to do a little bit of moderation and keep everybody on the same page.
Yeah, the judge was real funny today because the witness was getting off course, and he was just kind of like, okay, you have to, come back on course and talk about what we're talking about. And also, one thing I want to say about the Martin Luther Cringe, that guy with the fro. Yeah, I think that he is neglecting, like, he was using his deceased cousin for fame, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, and that was really crazy. I'm not surprised at what people would do for attention, what they would do for fame. It's really kind of sick, but not surprising.
Yeah, and before I go, I'll say, do you have any thoughts about the chemtrails?
I don't really know a lot about it, so I don't really have a lot of thoughts one way or the other.
Okay, yeah, my opinion, I think that there could be something going on, but like something I was reading from Harvard was that there hasn't been any whistleblowers about it, so they think that maybe it's something made up, or they're trying to do something to help the ozone layer. It could be used for that, but it could be and it could not be. Now, I personally think it is because I think it's kind of strange. You see the two X's in the sky, but there hasn't been a lot of like technical information about it. But there seems to be some cases that it may be something nefarious, but it's up in the air.
Well, yeah, it is.
Right. Okay, Bill, that's all to say for this call. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
All righty. That will be a wrap for me. So shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for joining. I'll be back. Same bat time, same bat place on Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm here every day for the most part, putting out pre-recorded content. Y'all please follow me on my other social medias, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, although I did call it X earlier. TikTok, all those links are right there on my website, anthonyblogan.com. Follow me on Rumble. You get the YouTube content over there. If you prefer to watch me on Rumble, I'm on that particular platform. That'll be in the box, or you could just search for me very easily, Anthony Brian Logan. I am verified on Rumble as well, so I'm easy to find. Where else am I? This is an audio streaming podcast you're listening to right now. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether it be Google Play, Spotify, Apple iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. Also, please subscribe to Uncle ABL. I'm doing better at posting over there. I put out 2 new videos. I think I got another video coming out on Uncle ABL tomorrow. I don't even know where it's at. I think I saved it, but I have it prepared. So I'm putting a lot more like lifestyle stuff over there. And people were asking me, it's like a lot of things I would say, like how not to be 5,000 pounds. If you guys want that kind of content and things like that, I'll most certainly put it up over there on the other channel. Alrighty. But I got super chats on deck. I'm going to read those right quick. Then I wrap it on up, put the bow on top. But thank y'all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Thank you for watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you're doing. I could not do the show without you. Thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I appreciate y'all as well. But now I got super chats. Thank you to Richard Smith for the good job emoji. I appreciate you for that. Thank you to Michael Critchlow, says, why is someone on the right talking about conservative Newsmax debut on New York Stock Exchange, the NYSE, skyrocketing 2,230% in its first 2 days of trading? Well, I don't know a lot about that particular. Yeah, I don't know about that. So I just didn't really cover it. Thank you to Ski Man, who says, thanks, ABL, longtime watcher, great content. Appreciate all your hard work. Thank you, man. I appreciate you as well. But I think that'll be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.